on? What's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And it's what? Tuesday. Tuesday, a great Tuesday. The NBA play-in start tonight. A whole lot of stuff going on. Let me see. Let me recognize my starting five. The starting five, y'all know who my starting five are. They are the people we affectionately call the starting five because they are the first five people to sign up to the Chop Shop feed via Facebook Live or YouTube Live. And today we have Sonia Billingsley, Thad Moody, Maite Cora, Mindy Collins, Jessica Brooks, and our sixth man of the day is Rod Wells. And guess who came right behind him was Marissa Smith, then Jeremy Davis, Alex Costero. Oh man, I'm just giving a shout out. Kevin Allen's in the building. Gina Lofton is in the building. What's up, Miss Lofton? Corey Willis. Who else we got? Just Brandon Nickerson, Gary Sinclair. Who else? Alfio Vizzi. Who else we got? He said, I guess Alfio said, rest in peace, Benny Hamilton. Jack H. Lyon, if y'all know him. What's up, Michael? Mike, what's up, baby? She told me everybody must be on YouTube. No, don't worry about where everybody else. It's people there. It's people there. Share the show. Do me a favor. Text, tag, tell somebody. Right now, before we go any further, just thank you, Monte. Share the show. Have you shared the show? Has anybody shared the show today? Text your friend. Text your last 5 friends who've been bothering you anyway and tell them to tune over to the Chop Shop. You got something for them. They might learn something today. Chris Walker was amazing yesterday. I mean, it's just, hey, Karen, share the show. Oh, Lord, Paul Miranda's in the building. Let's see who else. Tyrone Caldwell. Okay, that's all. That's all it is. Share the show. Y'all got to realize sometimes people have something to do. It's 12:04. Y'all, people used to us coming on long. And you know what I've been finding out? I don't know if y'all realize. Facebook, they what do you call it? They just commandeered our old page. And I'm finding out this, a partner of mine called me and said, man, I've been trying to find y'all on Facebook and I haven't been able to find you. I don't get the notification because he's under the old. So I sent out a message and just hoping people come back. We had thousands of people. And Facebook just shut us out. That's why I say I don't want them to be able to shut us out no more. So that's why I love the YouTube feed. So just share the show. Tell a friend, tell another friend. But I got to use a unique day. I'm going to start it off because we got a lot of stuff coming today. We got guests coming on, Jimmy coming on, so y'all can get your little basketball fix. But before we go anywhere, I want to talk about happy birthday to Trina Mouton, one of our great contributors on the Chop Shop. She's been watching Chop Shop for a long time. Great woman, great family, part of the Griggs family. Shout out to her. This is her day. Happy birthday and get well soon. Her mom has been in and out of the hospital. Get well soon, Mom, and let's make this thing happen. On this day, y'all, in 1896, the Supreme Court ruled that separate but equal facilities were constitutional. In the case Plessy versus Ferguson. If anybody ever went to law school for 1 year, they always talked to Plessy versus Ferguson. It is the most studied and talked about case in history. This ruling did not stop us challenging the system. A string of cases brought before the Interstate Commerce and Commission or the Supreme Court in the 1940s and the 1950s paved a way for ending segregation and interstate on interstate trains and buses. And what has happened, y'all? The reason I'm really bringing it up today, at the Smithsonian Institute in the Black Museum, the African American Museum of Culture in D.C., they got a new exhibit coming in, y'all. And when you get a chance, if you get on the road, um, when you go to DC, if you haven't visited this museum, they got a new exhibit, and it's called Defining Freedom. Defining Freedom, Era of Segregation, 1876 through 1968. It's an exposition. It's gonna have an exhibition of the rail car with the segregated on the rail car, segregated sections, and show the difference. You don't in the colored section, you don't have nowhere to put your bags. It's just a different, and they're gonna show this actual car. They refurbished the car and brought it to DC. They even had to shut down some streets because it's so big. They had to bring it in on a flatbed. But this exhibit gonna be in there. This the history that a lot of people want us to forget, and we can't forget it. We can't forget it, because we don't never want them to be able to put us back there. So I mean, Chris and I was talking about some things yesterday, and I wanted to shout out to him. Yes, Alex Costero. But it was so unique. I mentioned this guy's name again, and some of y'all, I forgot, some of y'all are new listeners. And this young man, Adam Clayton Powell, y'all just got to realize, when you know better, you do better. I found out that's my new hero in this struggle, in this civil rights and freedom. I talked about him. I told you I got mad at myself because I'm visited New York a lot. It passed by he's got a federal building named by him. Passed by several times check this out, going to Apollo, going to Sylvia's, and did not know I was passing by, it's on a little alt of the street. I had to make a turn, but I was passing by the Adam Clayton Powell museum. But he is the one that came up with the Don't Buy Where You Can't Work campaign a long time ago. And I told Chris, and Chris called me after. He said, man, I didn't know that dude. He probably more than any other African American changed the 20th century for Black people. I mean, I talked about some stuff that he did yesterday, but some stuff I left out, y'all. I mean, it showed me where, it talked about how many bills. You know how hard it is to get a bill passed? You know how this Congress just draw we got the Black Caucus, we got everything now, right? And these people can't pass a bill. The George Floyd bill hadn't been paid. What's his name? The John Lewis bill can't get passed. And while he was chairman, check this out, y'all. While he was chairman, Adam Clayton Powell, Google him, Adam Clayton Powell. I want everybody to know about it. While he was chairman of the Education Committee and Labor Committee, he passed 60 bills in 5 years. He didn't have no Congressional Black Caucus. You remember? I told y'all. He integrated the lunchroom at the Capitol building. If you ever visit the Capitol got a cafeteria where only the congressman could go in, right? But it was a time that they wouldn't let the Black congressmen in. So can you imagine those people making the rules for all of us? I'm gonna let y'all sit on that one for a minute. What's up, everybody? The people that's making the rules for all of us, they wouldn't allow a sitting congressman. But Adam Clayton Powell said, oh, hell no. It's a new sheriff in town. I'm coming in there. And then when he got in there, he told the waiter, who was Black, he said, man, and make sure that you don't let him spit in my food. Adam Clayton Powell, Jr. Yes, he's the character. He's the character, Paul Miranda. He's not that dude on. Let's get this straight. He's not that dude in a freaking movie or series. He's bigger than that. But he is depicted in that show. I just wanted to clear that out. But think about it, y'all. We can't get two bills passed. This man got 60 bills passed in 5 years with no black caucus. He's the only one in it. There was a letter, in case y'all didn't know this. That was a letter given to him by the president saying there was never a more productive chairman of a committee in the history of the Congress. He was in Congress for 22 years, y'all. He never kept the phone at home. I'm just giving you some stuff they ain't gonna put in the history books. I never read about this guy when I was coming out of school. I never heard of him. The president used to call him on the phone. And if you saw the movie the other day, Paul Miranda, that was LBJ talking to him. LBJ came to Harlem to his office. It's unbelievable, man. Let me see what else. He just did so much stuff, y'all. Like I told you about the telephone company, wouldn't hire no blacks. So back then, you remember they had the switchboards back then, right? So they would inundate. He would have everybody call City Hall, just keep calling on the phone, keep calling. So people on Wall Street got mad because they couldn't get no calls in through Wall Street. They said, hold up, whatever it is, just hire somebody. They had to hire some black people. He gave aid to arts and public education. Powell changed society. Where the government become responsible for their citizens. What else he do? He introduced, hold on, y'all. He introduced minimum wage. A basement of what people can make in working class, because they used to just pay you any damn thing. This guy right here said, oh, hell no. But guess what? How many of y'all read about him in the books? We are a product, y'all. Chris Walker said something key the other day. He said he got a book out, this book called The Elephant in Our Room. We're the product of multiple generations that to achieve corporate positions and political power that we couldn't achieve before. Now we can. He had this thing, he made training a priority. Check about he made training a priority. It's called manpower training development. Because people used to, guess what the companies used to say? Well, they're not trained. They don't know what to do. So he developed manpower training development. So you can get trained. In Congress, he made poverty a priority. Y'all, let me tell you something. They tried to erase his footsteps so we wouldn't have nothing to follow. I would love Robert Hatter as a 10-year-old young man reading about Adam Clayton Powell. Oh my God. But guess what? Your 10-year-old should know about it. Let me show you something. And I'll end with this one, man. I saw this and I'll never forget this. They were talking about at a they had an op-ed, trying to find it. They had an op-ed, y'all. Did a little research and it haunted me. Now, Adam Clayton Powell died on April the 4th, 1972, Paul. Check this out, Trey Phillips. April the 4th, 1972. Okay? On April the 6th, 1972, it was an editorial in the New York Times. And they wrote this editorial that I really didn't like. They said in an editorial, listen to this. They said on April the 4th, 1968, a black man named Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis. 4 years later to that day, on April the 4th, 1972, a black leader named Adam Powell died in Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami, Florida. This editorial in New York Times, it said, one died and left a legacy, the other died and left nothing. Let me tell you something, y'all. I never resented something more in my life. For them to suggest 2 days after his death that a man who changed life as we know it for us and for other Americans that were poor left no legacy. I just read y'all off his, I hadn't read y'all all of it, but this with the New York Times. You remember what I keep telling you? We got to see each other different. Because if we listen to what they say about us, this what they gonna write about us. They said this man didn't leave a legacy. They always try to play us against one another. They tried to play him in their deaths. They tried to play him against Martin Luther King. The New York Times. The CNNs of the day. If y'all can't, but these people who y'all listen to, I call it infotainment news. But y'all, they don't want us to follow the model of protest and power. Even if they'll accept your protest. Jimmy's about to come in just a second, y'all. You're not supposed to have no power. Adam Powell, he preached power. And I don't want nobody to ever forget that. Your kids should know about him. My mom, my family, I didn't know about it as a kid. Powerful men. They didn't want us to know. I know now, I know why. They didn't want a young 10-year-old like Robert Hatter knowing about this dude. Because I would have been trying to be him instead of be like Mike. But Jimmy, what's going on, man? Let me bring you in here. Let me see. Hey, what's up, baby? How you doing? Hey, man, what, you all right? Yesterday, I thought somebody kidnapped you yesterday, baby boy.
Man,
Jimmy, you look a little bit like Adam Clayton Powell. Y'all look like y'all could have been hung out a little bit. Y'all look, yeah. One of these days, I'm gonna tell that story, huh?
Light skin was in back then.
Oh my God. Hey, Jimmy, let me tell the story. Jimmy, when he was younger, he looked so white. Jimmy, when he went to Colgate, right? He had got initiated and joined a white fraternity. And they let him join. Jimmy, they found out. They did a background check on him, found out, and put him out. But Jimmy, he was just an unbelievable talent, unbelievable man. Man, y'all need to read. Jimmy, you remember when Alicia Keys came on one of those shows, those award shows a few years ago, and everybody was wondering what the hell she doing playing both pianos. You know, she had a piano right here and a piano. You remember that, Jimmy? She was going, but she was doing a tribute to Hazel Scott. That was Adam Clayton Powell's wife, one of his wives. That was his wife. Oh, yeah, and it was just unbelievable, man. Yeah, Paul, go read the story. Great man. Man, I could talk about him for 2 hours. But, Jimmy, I know we got some summer basketball. Jimmy, they need their summer basketball fix because Chris Walker and I didn't give them none of that yesterday because I didn't want to double dip on you. Oh, I'm trying to get you in there. Look, the thing made you disappear. But I didn't want to double dip, so I'm trying to get you fine-tuned in there, that old bright color shirt. You don't never get the memo. But I know you've been gone. I'm going to let you go. But what's been happening, man, in the world of summer basketball and grassroots basketball?
Man, we're gonna definitely rap and ride on about grassroots basketball this past weekend. The summer prep Elite 36. The recaps are posted on the website RCS Sports. In case you guys didn't know, the recaps once again is posted on the website rcssports.com. Jeffrey Day did a detailed recap of the 16 top performers that he saw. Doug Jones did a recap in the VIP news, and it has a lot of details on the champions. And shortly, I'm gonna give you guys a chance to share the show.
Yeah,
you got to share the show.
And Jimmy, I want to help. I need some help with the VIP room. I go to the VIP room, but I can't read. They keep sending me somewhere else when I try to read Jeffrey Day's articles. So if you're a VIP, you can't read Jeffrey Day's articles.
Yeah. Jeffrey Day's articles on the front page. It's not in the VIP now.
Yeah, but when I hit a button and tell me, it was telling me.
It's simple as this. If you've already followed RCS Sports on Twitter, then it will ask you for your Twitter handle, and it will verify that you follow.
Oh, okay.
That's all you got to do. You type your Twitter in, it'll say, okay, you verified. Now, if you don't follow RCS Sports, then you will be prompted to follow us in order to read the free article. It's a complimentary article, but that's not asking too much at all.
Okay, I just didn't know.
Because that thing is, think about it. This is in this era, and I understand. I know it's a bit innovative. I love being innovative on the front end of influence. When you start thinking about it, I could easily say, well, J-Day, pay $1 to read his articles, or put that with the no. I don't need everything on the website to be free.
I just didn't know what I was doing. You got to understand, when somebody prompt me too many times, because my attention span is so short. If you prompt me too many times, I'm going to go do something else because I got other stuff to do. Yeah. So I just go do something else. You got to make it quick and easy for me. I'm telling you. I ain't got time. So what you gonna switch glasses on me? Oh
yeah, Lord. I'm gonna put my high beams on.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm putting my high beams on so we ride down this road. Now, yesterday, of course, the news, I guess at the end of the chop shop was Xavier Wheeler making his decision to go transfer from Georgia, stay in the SEC, and he will go to Kentucky. Well, Xavier's from H-Town. Well, his family's originally from New York, but he's from H-Town. Houston Christian High School took the world by. Remember, Xavier was co-MVP of the LeVar Ball, that all-star game that he put together. A lot of people may have forgot 3 years ago. He was co-MVP of that in Las Vegas. Xavier Wheeler also led the NBPA Top 100 camp in assists. He went to Top 100 camp in Charlottesville, Virginia, led them in assists. He led the SEC in assists this past season. Him going to Kentucky, I didn't get a chance. I meant to talk with the parent last night, but it was so busy. I had an unprecedented 5 damn meetings on yesterday, back to back, all over town. So, but I think it's good. Jay Lucas is there. Sometimes you give your baby somewhere, it's somebody that you know or of the family, then it kind of helps a little bit. Because I mean, if you're in Xavier, you heard him. Remember, he made his announcement to Georgia live on the Chop Shop when he was in the 12th grade at Houston Christian. We went and did right on location. Matter of fact, he's the only person that did it live on location that we actually went to ourselves. Everybody else, we beamed them right in on the show, or they were in the studio live. Like little Ricky Doc Nelson came live into the studio with us that time when he picked Weber State from when he was attending Episcopal. But this thing with Xavier, this is Kentucky is the perfect platform for him to warm the hearts of the country, because first of all, the program can't do any worse. I mean, they can, but we don't expect them to than they did this past season. Xavier coming there, he's easy to love because he's the mighty might on the floor. Yes, he has to improve that 3-point percentage. Yes, he has to decrease and improve on his assist to turnover ratio. Turnovers, even though he's leading the SEC in assists, his turnovers are extremely too high. Yes, we know that, but that's what you progress for. I really believe that this is the perfect platform for him to thrive himself because of in the NBA connections that stems from that particular Kentucky program is probably unmatched in the United States for any college program. As far as you think about it, if you strive well at Kentucky, you will have an opportunity. We know 2 programs that are direct pipelines: New York Knicks, the Phoenix Suns. 2 direct pipelines right now for them. If they like you, you don't even have to draft you. They bring you in, you play your way on in. And I'm glad for the family. Got it out the way. Xavier's a really smart dude, man. Really smart dude.
Right.
He has coach written all over him. He has that Avery Johnson type, the way that he approached the game. I'm serious. I mean, I wonder if Avery has actually sit down and Xavier. If they haven't, that would be awesome conversation of tutelage and guidance. He's really smart. One of the smartest 3-point guards. I'm talking about basketball IQ that can really just talk situations and without even being there about what he saw and break down some stuff. That's Xavier, man. He's that good, and that part of him offsets a lot of his physical shortcomings. And so I applaud the family, man. Way to go. Just hope and wonder. My thing is, they made the announcement with Jeff Goodman. Jeff Goodman has not been a real fun. He hasn't been fondly embraced by the Kentucky alumni. Jeff Goodman, and I'm gonna ask that with the family. Why Jeff Goodman? Who knows? Maybe it might have been he might have dropped a bag. He might have gave him a tip for serving that drink. But you could have been Jason Jordan, could have been Metcalf with ESPN. Hell, we didn't expect him to come back to Chop Shop. We didn't ask, but at the same time, it could have been the Chop Shop again. But why Jeff Goodman? We don't ask that because you know why? They ask their people when it goes the other way. You best believe that. Why did you go and, for example, when Xavier them came and announced on the Chop Shop, there were people that came and approached the family and asked them, "Wait, why did you do it with Chop Shop with them? Who's those guys? Who are those guys?" You see? So they ask when it's flipped the other way. But damn it, we gonna ask when it's that way. Just for understanding.
But see, who was on this show yesterday and was asking? I hope Ed Russell come back on. I hope he listened to this show. Because Chris Walker was just talking about the power. Guess what? Guess who had the power in that situation, ladies and gentlemen? Kyle Xavier Wheeler and his family had the power to go and announce that with anybody they want to. See, that's once we realize that, see, I don't know if he might do that again, unless he's going to transfer again. But he won't have that power anymore to do that. He had a power to choose whoever he wanted to go with, whoever he wanted to do this with. And that's what Chris Walker was talking about yesterday, the elephant in our room. Everybody need to get that book because we can sit on the show and talk for 2 hours about the power we have. And we have somebody on the show at the end asking, "Man, Chris, you ought to get, you ought to go on the Don Lemon show." And Chris said, "Shit, Don Lemon ought to come on this damn show." We got to stop looking at this is a powerful tool and it's controlled by us. So when we have the power, guess what? He that came on this show, those other shows or whatever affiliates, guess what? They gonna have to report it, Jimmy. They gonna have to say via the Chop Shop, Xavier Wheeler announce this thing. Y'all, when we have power, I keep trying to tell y'all how we keep giving away our damn power. You have the power to choose which university you're going to go to. You got the power to choose what agent you're going to go to. After that, you don't have no power no more because they choose what team you're going to go to, unless you're a free agent. So always remember, y'all, utilize your power. Understand your power. Jim, I'm sorry.
And that's the truth. You know, you guys, we keep saying it over and over. You have more power than you know, than you're willing to believe in, especially when you're galvanized. You have the power to say, now other people may have influence, but you have the power. Think about that remote control button when next time you go and watch TV. Those other channels, those other buttons have influence. It's one button on that remote control that says POWER on it. Only one. Power. That button on the remote control is the only button that supersedes any other button on there. That's what you have, the power to do so. And with that being said, of course, we go right into some grassroots. I've had several text messages, and people even called a couple to question, every week it seems like there are parents that are growing more and more concerned about the rising prices at these grassroots events. And the thing is, it seems like all events in the state of Texas are pretty much charging the same amount for the one-day pass. It's becoming commonplace. The market is set at $15. Now, here's the thing. It's like going to the mall. You want to smell good, you have a cologne and a perfume counter. All bottles on that counter aren't the same price. Some are based on what it takes to make up and the potency of it and how long it's going to stay on you and whatnot. Some are based on the name. Some are based on what the ingredients that goes into it. So here, once again, you got some events that's poo butt. That's the term we used back in the day. I take you a blast to the past. Poo butt events that's charging the same price as an event that has a collection of recruitable talent. That ain't supposed to happen. That ain't supposed to happen at all. That's another. Understand, how do you push back? That's what people are asking.
So poop butts shouldn't be asking for $15. You say
they shouldn't.
Okay,
but it shouldn't. It's like, how do you ever go to the movie theaters? There are some theaters, if you notice, if you go to certain theaters closer to the Galleria, their tickets are a little bit higher because of real estate. Now, a couple of them closed, they bust down because of the pandemic, but they're high. Their prices are higher because you're paying for certain real estate.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The further you go out, certain theaters, you can get now for $8 still. So other ones, $14 for a movie ticket.
Oh yeah.
It's based on, remember, you're watching the same movie, but you're paying for real estate. So if some events are in worse facilities and they have a lesser degree of talent, then why are they the same price?
But it don't matter if the consumer is willing. See, I told you, Jimmy, and y'all. I guess I think people, it goes to deaf ear, but I guess I'll keep repeating it because faith come by hearing and hearing. Somebody to push the price tags on what is valuable. Maybe to that person, whoever go to these, whatever events you're talking about, got lesser facilities, lesser whatever, maybe that's all they want to do is see some basketball. Because in either place, are there going to just be basketball in the place? Maybe you got to understand, some people like to go to the spot. Into the what's that other little place I can't stand? Davenports. I can't stand them little raglass places. But a lot of people like to go to them places, Jimmy.
But guess what?
I can't stand them.
Speaking of a person like a Davenport.
Yeah.
For those that know, that's a little lounge that's located in the middle of Houston. It's been open for
Ragged as hell.
For a couple of decades.
Yeah.
Well, for what you get in there, there's no cover, a little old small trap. You walk on the carpet, feel like you're walking on in mud,
dirt,
because it's so much. They ain't cleaned the carpet in so long. But what they're known for, right?
Yeah,
they gonna pour you the heaviest drinks in town. Ain't no TVs in there. There are no TVs. You can't watch. Ain't no TVs. Ain't no. I mean, it's.
But see,
it's
to
like,
a guy, to a guy like me who ain't drinking, how the hell I'ma know? Well, a guy like me that don't drink, that don't
have any
value to me.
Yes. Any value
to me,
to you on that side. That's the value of it. The value of it is a dark spot.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're incognito and you get some of the heaviest drinks for that based on that side of town.
I got
so
you.
That's what I understand the give in that. But then you got other places that's similar to that, and they skim you on the drinks. You're paying for real estate, but then you have a choice. See, you have a choice. And what do? If you're a drinker, what's your choice? You're gonna go take your butt somewhere else where they're gonna pour them good.
And I'm gonna go pay. I'm gonna go pay for the atmosphere. Yes, that's me.
Atmosphere goes into it. That's the ambiance.
Yes, I'm gonna look. I like to be in nice places. So, I understand. I believe in me. I'm following you. I'm following. I mean, I ain't got nothing against them. Just don't tell me to meet your asshole. Excuse me. Don't tell me to meet you there. I ain't coming. He know who he is if he watching the show. Don't ask me to come there. But now back to you, what you were saying, people. But Jimmy, let me help you something. I talked to a guy the other day. You know, because I'm doing a lot of research on summer basketball. Just things that didn't happen over the years. So if y'all got a crazy story that didn't happen to you in summer basketball, send it to me, chopshop at htx at gmail.com. Okay? Crazy story. Got to be some stuff. I mean, it's a story saying, damn, I mean, wow. You're going to make a story that make me say, wow. But Jimmy, the guy, he asked me a question. He said, Robert, the cost of producing a game has been increased by 35%. I didn't know that. I don't do games. He said the price of producing a game, ladies and gentlemen, refs used to be $20. They want to bump to $35 now. And they want 3 refs per game. It's not in this city. Then he said Jim Reynolds has went from $45 an hour, ladies and gentlemen, to over $65 an hour. So those prices have to be, and Jimmy, I'm just a numbers guy. Those prices have to, if they up the prices on me, I got to hand that cost down. I got to smooth that. I got to smooth that thing out throughout my whole process. Jimmy didn't say this. Somebody else just said this, Jimmy. I said, why? I said, wow. So I've never just heard that explained. People just say, okay, it's $15 an hour. But parents, maybe it's not for them to explain. I'm explaining it to y'all. Somebody just told me this, and he live in a whole nother city. He said, Robert, prices done went up, baby. I said, okay. Jimmy?
Yeah, and the price, well, That means the event operator has a decision to make. Everybody has a choice. Number one, you pass that price, that increase on to the consumer, or you pass that increase on to the teams. Either or. In this situation, we've seen as the increase has been passed on to both of them. So it's a double whammy, meaning that the rates for tournaments have increased it. That means for your team to come and get in, it's been increased over the last 2 years, right? On the average. Now, to get into the event for the patrons, it has increased as well. So that means now for that one, for your cost of renting the same facility for $20 more an hour on the average over the past 4 years, that's per court. That's per court. Guys, let me pull your antenna up. If you really pay attention, do you notice that certain people don't use high schools, public high schools, because they are generally a little bit more than your private and than your charter schools. Your private schools are going to be more than any of them, or they reserve the right to not let you in their building at all. But your public schools, they are always open because there's taxpayer dollars that support those school districts. So now your price, for example, the highest gym rental in all of Houston that I know of in a public school is Spring ISD. That's why you notice when you go to the MI3 and you've ever wondered, there's 5 to 6 courts right across the street from the MI3 Center. Westfield High School and the middle school across the parking lot. 4 courts at Westfield High School, and of course 2 more across the street. You notice there's nobody never going over there. John Lucas is the only one since they've done that I've saw that had an event at the MI3 and also did an annex over at Westfield. How much are the courts at Westfield High School? You just mentioned $45 to $65, right, Heather?
I said over $65.
Over 65?
Over 65.
No, 65 is the average in Houston.
Yeah,
that's the average.
But this guy wasn't in Houston, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm saying in Houston, yeah. It's the average in Houston. Westfield High School is $200 an hour per court. So they made the prices because legally they can't say no, you can't rent our public facilities because that's against the rules, against the law. You can't do that. You got to have a price. Now the price they made the price so high that they'd think you would be foolish to get that to come in that building. The price is so high. Now that $200 includes the price of the police officer and the maintenance worker factored in there, but it averages out to approximately $200 an hour per court. That's that. And guess what? On their side of the fence, they get to preserve their facilities. They get to preserve their gymnasium floors, their rims, their wear and tear on their restroom appliances. They get to retain control of that. That's the trade-off. Now they lose money, but at the same time, every school district don't need money like you think. But that's, I know some of the lowest price districts and I know the highest, but sometimes the game is to be sold, not told. But back to this doggone tournament this weekend, Howard. Remember we say all eggs don't hatch on the same day. Mm-hmm. And I know it's tough for a lot of unsigned seniors and the parents out there coming through that pandemic year. I know it. We all know it. We empathize with a lot of you families out there because the time it had to hit somebody if it was going to hit at all. Well, there was one player that we know he was good already. Heather, you've seen him play, and you say, "Yeah, okay, yeah, man, I like him." And But this past weekend, the egg hatched for this young man. And as it did so, I have with me, I'm gonna pulling up the intel.
I like this. Garrett said, so we preserving facilities instead of providing resources. Them schools don't care.
Yeah, every school district athletic director is the one that has the
they don't care. I can tell you that they don't care. But keep going, Jim.
I mean, and that's a good thought though, Gary, on that part. But yeah, everybody. Yeah. Now, guess what? If people cried about or voiced their opinions in writing or by phone calls to that and flood the superintendent's office, not the superintendent's office, then guess what would happen? Somebody would have to make change because they can't cut the phone off. They got to keep answering that phone call. Hey, you want to know why we can't rent these facilities? Why is the price so high when we're losing, when the districts next door are charging a fraction of the cost? And that's Aldine ISD. Why is Spring ISD so high? Their facilities are arguably, in some cases, well, a couple of their schools are newer than Spring ISD. Spring ISD's newest school. Aldine Davis opened after Decaney. So anyway, that's a good thought. But I was talking about a young man on the unsigned senior from Team Imperial. How they won first place in the top division this past weekend. Once again, Team Imperial, right? And this kid Mason McBride he's from Manville High School. Mason McBride. He had 34 on Sunday alone, 34, 24, 34. And the last 34 was in the money game. He put on a clinic and against good talent. This young man, he's about 6'3". He's an off guard with a good mid-range game. He extended that thing out to the perimeter. Hit a couple of threes, gets good elevation on his jumper, long, and plays long. College coaches. This young man, based on that performance from that weekend, remember, it's who you did it against that matters as well. That goes into the equation now. You can do this stuff now once again at one of them pool buddy events. But this event, understand how minus the fact of the top division, there was none of the sneaker sponsored programs there. So that means you have the best of the rest. So it's a bell curve. Well, no sneaker sponsored program there. So who else was there? Well, there's another event going on across town, the Prep Hoops, and several college coaches that went to both events said it wasn't even close. As far as the infrastructure and the talent, both of them had talent, but the infrastructure and the games and the being able was because over there it was showcase games only. We had a tournament at the Summer Prep Elite 36. That's Brian Jolivet, Rick Nelson, and myself. Remember, we combined to run 4 events this summer. This was the third of the 4 slate of events. The next one is on Juneteenth. And that once again, June the 18th.
What team he played with? Imperial? Who runs
Team Imperial?
Is that the team with somebody's son that I know? Who's the coach run that program?
Drew Parker.
Drew Parker Jr.
Yeah,
somebody's
Drew Parker
son.
Jr.
Drew Parker.
And this is like the 3rd, 4th championship this spring, Hal. They didn't just come up. This team has been winning all summer. And I think he told me the record is something like 30-5 this summer, that program. And they don't have a lot of players. But Andrew Parker Jr., he gets so much out of those kids. It reminded me that we talked last week. Remember the same Atlanta Hawks that finished 5th place in the East, something like that. The same Atlanta Hawks was damn near in last place with a different coach. Another coach came in and got maximum output out of that team.
It was 14-20, I think.
And they had the best record in the NBA over the last 46 games or so. The Atlanta Hawks. You go look it up.
Yeah.
No other team in the league has a better record than the Atlanta Hawks.
Change your voice.
Scariest first round draw.
But in his defense, that same coach was on the bench all the time. And that same coach is a great coach. He just, them damn fools just fired this forget great coach, a great man, Nate McMillan. And they didn't appreciate him up there. And I can't wait till they take this damn interim tag off of him in Atlanta. I guess they down there with they right there wait and see situation. So don't let me get on that. But I'm glad you used that analogy, Jimmy, that this guy gets the best out of these kids.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes that's all it takes. This stuff is supposed to be, supposed to be some type of element of fun. And a lot of programs totally strip the fun out of the grassroots basketball component because they make it seem it's I don't know if it's scare tactics. I don't know of what it is, but you try to make these kids feel like this is all or none. If you don't, and understand, you're going to get another opportunity. Unless you're an unsigned senior and you're on your last lap around the track, and still you have options. You have options and opportunities. And unsigned seniors, we do have somebody's going to join us in about 10 minutes. That's going to give you some advice.
But Jimmy,
on navigating through these waters.
Check this out. And Odyssey. The team Imperial just beat the dog stuff out of every team they played by 40 or 30. So how was they playing good? What either Odyssey, is this the same tournament?
Yeah, they beat everybody by double digits. Put it like this: the Scholar Athletes is one of the top non-sneaker programs teams, 17U teams in all of Greater Houston. Non-sneaker sponsored team. They're one of the top 5. You see what I'm saying? Team Imperial beat them by 22. Run ruled them. So Scholar Athletes is solid. Texas Takeover is solid. They beat them in the championship game. Right? So, and then on top of that, the Houston Rockstars, they're one of your top 5. They're probably one of your top 15 non-sneaker sponsored 17U teams in the area. Beat the Rockstars by 35. They were playing at their peak. Without this team Imperial, everybody understand. Everybody gonna be missing a player or two. It's prom season. We understand that. I mean, graduation season. I'm sorry. Different stuff going on. Everybody's gonna be not most people. I understand. Scholar Athletes didn't have a head coach, Joe Baldridge. He was in Atlanta, and give a shout out to Joe Baldridge
his daughter
being one proud pappy. Yeah, one proud pappy. His daughter graduated from Spelman. Yeah. So shout out to Joe and for making sure we know Joe.
Oh, well, that's why they got beat there. Okay, I know something was going on.
That ain't why they got beat. That's why they got beat.
They
like
wasn't gonna get beat by that bad though if Joe was there.
That's how they got beat.
Joe would have called enough time out to manage the score, but keep going. Yeah. As KP would say, carry on.
They made a segment out of that too. I like that. KP is really done. Kenny Perkins is really, really doing well with ESPN, and they've re-upped him for another couple of years on the program. So that's how you do it. You go there, understand something. Think about this. Kendrick Perkins made people cringe every time he talked. You know why they say that Southern slang? He don't have his diction ain't right. He can't put the words, can't pronounce the words. Guess what? That's what I learned this stuff back on TV in Houston with the Cube alongside Todd Freed. People saying the same shit about me. That's why. And then somebody told me, hey, man, look, people love that. The common folk. And common folk, if they can understand what you're saying and you have a little humor to it, and you can make them smile upon seeing you and upon you going off, they're still smiling. There'll be a space for you out there. That's what Kendrick Perkins did. He don't check hardly none of the boxes. If you go to a journalism or a communications class, they don't teach nothing.
The first thing they do is tell you to shave all that damn hair off your face.
Exactly. And he trimmed it a little bit. That's the first thing. He don't check none of the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
None of the boxes.
He could play for the Yankees, though.
Think about it. His internet used to go out every day. Every time he be at his house, his internet used to go down. Remember, that we used to laugh at him. And guess what? His talent was greater than the problem.
Yeah. And no, they just upgraded the internet. But he couldn't play for the Yankees, though, because you got to shave that shit out playing for the Yankees. Yankees don't play that.
And so also, Alan,
Right.
when we was talking about the young tournament, guess who else was there? That young 8th grade team from the JL3, Delilah's team. They kicked ass again. Man, you can't help. Hey, man. Them dudes have so much fun with Delilah, that 14 under team, that 8th grade team. They've been going everywhere and leaving a footprint. Matter of fact, a mule kick, double kick, one of them Bruce Lee's. 2 kicks on both back pockets of everybody that they've played. That's the JL3 14U. And I've even we've had a meeting, a post-event meeting, and I recommended, normally don't tell you guys candid information from the meeting, but I'm going to give it to you. I recommended to Rick Nelson, Brian Jolivet, to let Delilah know that her team, that 14U team, will not be permitted to play in the 14U division or that same age group at any of our next events. Now, you're messing the game up. Nobody has a chance to win. You know what? We're testing you out of that grade. Remember back in the old days, Alan, they call skip you a grade. They call it skipping you. We're skipping you out of the 4. You're gonna play 9. You're gonna play 15U if your ass come back. You're too good.
Hey, Jimmy, I got something for you. Jimmy, you meet a group of golfers, right? Somebody bring you into the group, and you're going. And that particular day, you happen to be playing good, and you win all the money. Jimmy, guess what they're gonna tell him? That's what they tell the dude. Tell him he can't come back. He can't play in this group no more. He can't come back. He can't play in this group no more. So it's a unique thing, man. I mean, and that's a testament to the group of young men she done put together. So just tell them, hey, y'all can't play. What division you gonna put them in now? What they got to do? They 14 and under?
Yeah.
So they got to go up to the 15 and under. They're gonna whoop them too.
Yeah. But it gives them it for the bang for your buck. They don't. It's not about winning the whole tournament with that team no more. You've proven. That's what I tell everybody. Dominate your age division first. Once you become a dominating force in your own age division, then you venture up. Because if you don't do it in that particular order, then what you're going to do is you're going to go and just say, you're going to deem yourself, we're going to play up. But if you haven't dominated or became a dominating force, that don't mean you got to be the best team in your age group. Being a dominating force means being part of the magna cum laude of your age group in your area. If you are part of the magna cum laude, then guess what? When it comes to certain tournaments, you don't go on and play up. Tracy McGrady did just that with his team this past weekend. The one-time legends. They didn't just play one up, and they did, I wouldn't have let them done it. They snuck in contact with Jolivet. He put them on the schedule, and Jolivet bumped them up 2 grade levels, which I hardly ever do, because that's what you're saying is that your talent level of your age group is that thin where you're gonna let a guy come up 2 grades. Well, this team, the one-time legends, they feature arguably the best playing 9th grader right now. And that's a kid, Jaquil, from Summer Creek High School. That's where he played this past season. He's about 6'6", and he is good. And Tracy McGrady, I've evaluated. I watched a team play about 5 times this spring and summer, and I've evaluated that team as well as the coaches. Because I also evaluate coaches. I like to see what you can get out of certain kids. Tracy McGrady does a very good job with in-game applications with those young kids. He's not doing a lot of, some of these kids you gotta fuss at, others you gotta cuss at, some you can't, you gotta keep it low because they so hell, they used to everybody cussing and fussing at them at home. The only way they can hear, you gotta keep it calm with them. T-Mac keeps it calm. His staff, they all know they do a great job. That team, they got knocked out in the first round of bracket play, but they won their pool. That's their 15. You played 17, and they lost to a team they're supposed to lose to. Team they lost to. You just ran against the guys, and that's what. When Jolivet put them in 17s, I personally put them in a pool that would not set them up, because if you set the team up just to prove a point, then you can help you could be a contributing factor in that team busting up. Somebody lead the team. Somebody gonna quit. So anyway, that's the thing. In regard to T-Mac, his 14 U's they played up. 15 U's played up. They played 16s last time. The 15s did and won the whole tournament. So they figured that, okay, look, it's like lifting weights. Let's put 2 more wheels on there. Let's get it off our chest. Never they tried to do, and they made it to Sunday.
So that's what you proposing that Lyle and them should do then.
You play up one level for sure, depending on the tournament. If the tournament is a poo butt tournament, you play up 2 levels.
Man, if you say that poo butt one more time, man, come on, man. No. So what else we got, man?
Oh, Greg Wiles say that was not the same JL3 team that played in the icebreaker. That
Greg
was her
Wiles ain't no here, is it?
Greg Wiles.
Oh, okay.
Say that was a 3rd string. Hell,
that was a 3rd string.
I don't know what string. Okay, if that be the case, I don't know. If that be the case, then that team there, that's job very well done. They too might want to play up 1 level.
So she got a 3rd string. Whoa. She got.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. Okay, come on.
And
Delilah, Delilah? Tell Delilah to come on and explain this to me.
Women Rock wins, and we try to shoot for Delilah for Women Rock wins.
All right. Okay.
Now get this. The Houston Defenders also played up. They're 15s, Heather. They played 16s, which is, see, let me give y'all the rule of thumb on this stuff so you can understand something. Parents, listen up and pull your antennas up right now. Matter of fact, share the show right now. Let's all share the show. If you are watching Facebook or YouTube, just give us a thumbs up on the YouTube. Let's share the show right now. Here's the deal. And yeah, Doug just clarified that wasn't Delilah's main team. She was just on the bench. So that team now had some muscle to it.
Wait a minute. This was not her main team. And you saying she just went through them people like
a Ginsu. Went right through them. That let you know. I mean, like I said, we'll talk to Delilah. I mean,
Let me
give you guys something.
Find that
I want to explain this so you give you something to understand.
Okay.
A sneaker-sponsored team. Let's just start with the 15U. It's the high school level. The 15U Houston Defenders, JL3, Houston Hoops. They're the only sneaker sponsor. Tracy McGrady, T-Mac, the one-time legends.
They sponsored by whom?
Adidas.
Okay.
Those teams are supposed to be the equivalent to an average 16U team.
Okay.
They're expected to be the best amongst the best in their area or their region. That's why they're obligated to go and find the best talent they can find and put in uniform. That's an obligation. So when some of those teams, if they go and they beat a John Doe team, that's expected. You're supposed to. You have the best collection. You have a higher percentage of recruitable student athletes than the average team that you would play against in your region that's non-sneaker sponsor or not under sneaker umbrella. We use the term sponsor kind of loosely because they don't get bread at that level down there. You follow me? The bread goes to the top 17 U team. They get product down there, part of the product budget. But the bread goes directly to them. Now, that coach or that founder may use his bread how he deems, how he see fit. It's site-based management. So I want to let you know that. So that means if a team plays up, that's a sneaker-sponsored program under that umbrella, and they play up one age, they should compete and beat most of the average teams as one grade up. They're not expected to beat the cum laude, the magna cum laudes of the 16U if you're magna cum laude of the 15U. They're expected to beat the best of the rest. Expected, because you know why? What percentage of the 15U of the ninth graders, how do you think, from let's say Houston Hoops, what percentage do you think played varsity at their high schools? Probably the vast majority. You got them two, you got the kids from Silsbee and Jack Yates High School. Hey, and I'm repping your colors right now today with my tie. You guys remember what those three freshmen from Silsbee High School did to y'all? And they were playing this weekend over. They suited up with a Beaumont Thunder this past weekend at the Elite 36. But
I want to tell you something. Our guest is in the waiting room, so I was just letting you know. So,
okay. You know he was in there now. He's in there. Okay, and so we gear up. Want to let you know, get you guys know that little tidbit about understanding what's expected. So just because you play up, don't play up and use it as an excuse, and you get beat by average team. I'm counting that against you. You're supposed to beat the average team when you play up. You're supposed to. Now there are certain teams that you're not supposed to. That's not supposed to be. If a team has multiple ranked players and you playing up, you're not expected to beat that team. So anyway, we got back to you parents and unsigned seniors. If you're watching, this is when it gets real. We're gonna have Coach V is going to rejoin us. It's time for he does his camps, and those camps all around the state of Texas. He's very passionate about his craft. Remember, this was a college coach for many years, and he laid it down. And now he's trying to help unsigned seniors, trying to help JUCO players. But he has some news also, and he's gonna give you some tips about this transfer portal. Mind you, I strongly encourage you to take out your crayons and your paper and let's take some notes today. Because without further ado, we got Coach V of the Uncommon basketball camps with us right now. What's going on, Coach?
Let me bring my man in. Van Landen Ham. What's up, Coach?
I haven't taken my glasses off. I was reading y'all's comments on Facebook, man. Having a great time. Listening.
Hey, Coach, sometimes you might not want to read all them comments. They off the chain.
They make me look smarter.
What's going on, Jim?
What's going on, Coach? What you got coming up next?
Mr. Hicks, how are you? I told Mr. Hatter that I was gonna wear my nice suit today because I kind of want to be a regular, man. I want to be like the Ernie Johnson. I think I want to be the Ernie Johnson of the Chop Shop.
You the Scott Van
so I dressed up today.
Yeah. No, I like Ernie Johnson, Coach. They winning all the Emmys. They winning all the awards and going to the Hall of Fame. They got inducted to the Hall of Fame. So I like the Ernie Johnson. Come on, Ernie. Come on. Come on, Coach. Can you hear me, Coach?
I can hear you. I got a little bit of echo, man. Am I doing okay? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Turn
good.
your Bluetooth. If you got a Bluetooth over there on another device, try turning that Bluetooth off, and it may kill your echo. It may kill your echo.
And just turn it down a little bit, Coach. Your speaker. See what's your speaker on your device, on your computer. Just turn the speaker down just a little bit because it's just getting a little feedback. That's all. That's all. You good. So, Coach, tell me what you got going on. Jimmy sent me something. What you got going on? You got something going on for these unsigned seniors. The last chance. What you call it? The what? The last. What you call it, Coach?
Oh, man, welcome to the Wild West of recruitment, man. It's an event on May 30th, and really it's for, really transfers, junior college kids, and maybe top unsigned seniors I've seen in my spring camps. But as I was listening to you guys, I actually got hit up by 3 or 4 juniors that were really good that came to one of my events in Houston and said, look, can we come? Because I want our kid, after what y'all were talking about playing up, I want our kid to see what a transfer portal kid looks like, what a junior college kid looks like. Can we get in there? Because your drills, your intensity, this and that. I mean, I'm open. I'm trying to be inventive because it's the Wild West right now with what I'm learning about this transfer portal.
Such as, elaborate on that. What you mean by wild stuff going on?
Man, I've been learning, Mr. Hicks, about this transfer portal. I try to put myself back in kind of the position when I was in in a Division II or Division I level where full rides are involved. And what's happening that I didn't ever really think about, because again, I coached a long time at the college level, but times have changed. So staying current is really important. Coaches, even that used to love recruiting freshmen, they're almost pushed right now towards the transfer portal for 2 reasons. And I never thought about it this way. Why wouldn't I wait and take a kid? That's why I'm doing this at the end of May, and we'll get to that later, who has less options. In other words, he can't leave if he can't handle it. I got at least a year because they used their one-time exemption to fix them, to mold them, to build a relationship. So if you've got 2 years left and you're coming from Tulsa, why wouldn't I take him over a freshman who may be a higher level talent who has a great year and can go up? Like these dudes in D1 are taking the D2 best players. I mean, you go prove yourself at D2, they're taking D2 players. Or that kid may not like his role because he's coming out of the select world, which you got to play select. But let's be real. I may lose some fans. That's a win-lose society. When you're talking about some kids need to be talked right to, most kids are really talked right to so they can stay on that team. Let's be real. They want to keep that kid on that team. So you're not going to teach them college level habits like you're a minute late, you're benched this whole tournament. Not teaching that in select basketball. So you're going to look at that transfer portal now as, okay, hey, I used to take freshmen, but I'm going to take transfer portal kids every year until they change the rule. So it's going to really hurt more than I thought. Seniors that can really play that are in between the kids I deal with. And so I'm really working hard to try to navigate through May 30th and see if I can help 10 to 12 kids find a spot.
Coach, do me a favor, because I know you would listen to the another device. You had another device and you were listening to the show or watching the comments. Make sure that extra device is turned down on your phone. Whatever that other device is, turn it down.
How's that?
Yeah, Coach. We
is
just
that perfect?
Echo. I'm still.
Yeah, that's good now. My dumb butt. I ain't Ernie Johnson. I still had y'all on my Facebook on the. I had your tab open. I was enjoying the show so much I forgot to close the tab.
Oh, okay. I knew it was something.
There you go. I'm not the smartest guy outside the court.
No, it's all good, Coach.
So I don't know if y'all heard that, Mr. Hicks, but the Wild West, I talked to 3 D1 dudes last night and 3 D2 dudes about kids. And 90% of all of the 6 coaches I talked to got that mindset now because they're forced into them. Not the mid-major level, not like the kids are talking, but that low major and below. So, once you use that one-time exemption, I got a chance. I take a freshman, and you're too good, or you have a good freshman year. Come on, think about it. They're gone.
Yeah.
And guess what about if you're a low major D1 dude that a lot of people don't know about? It's called an APR. I was one of the guys that took over Texas State when they were 1-32. I didn't know nothing about an APR. I came out of D2. You know what an APR is? Every time, if your kid doesn't have the grades or he transfers, the coach gets penalized. Yeah. I literally talked to the coach last night, has 8 kids leaving. I'm just thinking, oh shit, well, he just lost 4 scholarships over the next 2 years because they ain't changed the rules on the APR. So you better think about what that coach is thinking about in that seat right now.
But
as long as
that kid is in academic good standing, you okay. Right?
No. You get penalized. You get penalized for kids leaving your school.
Yeah.
You get penalized. The APR does involve transfers. So in other words, if you bring in a class of 6 and 4 leave or 3 flunk, that goes against your APR.
Okay.
And I was shocked when I was talking to the D1 guys. I said, surely they've adjusted the rules on the APR because there's no way you're giving an 18 or 19-year-old the 100% the complete voice of the program. No way are we doing that with our kids. And they were like, yeah, they haven't changed that. So yes, again, who are you going to take? A kid with 3 years left that already used his exemption and has to, now I wouldn't say stuck, but has to figure it out like we talked about last time and become a better second-year player in your program. Are you going to roll the dice on a freshman that's not a mid-major kid or the obvious kid ranked in Mr. Hicks, you know what I mean, or an obvious credible ranking, but are you going to take a freshman who can think he's too good and leave, and so it makes sense because I had 4 dudes at my camp who I thought were studs. I'm like, how in the hell is Jordan Roberts not signed? I mean, I was mentioning some guys and they were teaching me, well, this is why. I'm going to wait at least 20 more days to see what happens in the portal. And that's why one last shot could be really big for a group of kids. I think after that, the D2s, the NAIs that are saving a scholarship are going to really hound in there, if they don't get their kid out of the portal.
And what else are the college coaches saying about about these freshmen? Or you talking when you're saying freshmen, you mean the current seniors in high school? What else are the college coaches saying about them?
I just think it's like I say, you take a kid that's mid-major talent in high school now, and he checks all the boxes. I mean, his recruitment right now at the Division I level, more low major, mid-major, is probably sunk a whole level based on that APR, the transfer portal. And again, I don't care how good the kid is. Y'all better not have gave me full control when I was 18 and 19. I mean, I as a human being, think about it. An 18 and 19-year-old don't know shit. I mean, to be honest with you, they can be raised. They don't know nothing. That's what I'm saying. So if an 18-year-old, that's why I was always saying, man, be careful of that voice above. I think the kids have been able to help the most. The best thing they have is a good voice above them. Regardless who that may be, a select coach, trainer, because they're going into a world where we've created this portal with no really, restrictions on the coach, or where a kid has complete voice. He doesn't know what's really important. And some of these kids are getting stuck and leaving, like the ones I'm trying to invite. They don't have nothing. They should have never left. They should have never put themselves in that portal. I think the portal back in the day was only good if a college coach left that recruited you, developed a relationship with you. He was your guy. Yes, you should give a kid an exemption or an injury. Now it's the Wild West. I mean, that's what's going on out there. I think it's hurting seniors more than I originally thought, Mr. Hicks.
And so now, where would they go? what's the option? What's the realistic option for most of these seniors now that are on the table? And generally, they would have somewhere to go. But it sounds like the space is not there for most. So, what do you recommend they do?
There's not really a good solution right now unless we don't give the 18 or 19-year-old kids 100% of the voice. I mean, there's got to be something, whether it be the APR transfer portal, that kind of comes into the game. I'm talking more serious today because these kids are at stake. Coaches are, I've been talking to them, and I was in their shoes, and I can just see, I'm going to go with the transfer portal at West Texas A&M or Texas State if I was currently there again, because of the factors going into the recruitment. Now, for the One Last Shot camp, I purposely designed May 30th because I also know after May, these guys that are holding on to that one offer at the the low, major, and below levels, they're going to go ahead and take that Jordan Roberts now. They're going to take that Chris Weissman now, maybe. Kids I think in a normal, kids that I liked a lot that I've been putting out there. But I get it. These parents got to be a little bit more patient. And if the ones come out to May 30th, there will be more open roster spots at that stage. And that's why I've kind of conjoined with some of the entities out there to try to help both sides. And, but man, right now, what I've learned in the last week, I don't know if there's a lot of solutions unless the rules change. And there's people that are advocates for both. But being a college coach for a long time and knowing how hard it is to adjust, and like we talked about, be a better second-year player back in the day, to now just come out of that environment they come in and give them freedom, complete freedom, and a coach gets penalized if 7 kids transfer, and that's happening.
I don't understand that.
7 dudes from certain institutions I'm talking about are in the transfer portal. So I don't know what it's like right now to sit in that seat. I'm just trying to do my best to navigate and continue to find the right fit for kids and continue to try to educate parents. Like this parent whose kids are leaving as a freshman, for example. He doesn't know what a 4.24 is, Mr. Hicks. You should know what a 4.24 is. Like, I would go, he doesn't. These are just kids, man. I try to mentor behind the scenes.
So at what point, that's a good point.
4.24. 4.24.
Yeah,
explain it.
It's going from 4 year to 2 year to 4 year college.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's a 4.24, the transfer. Like if a kid goes a freshman to 4 year college, and he decided he don't want to transfer, he go to a junior college, and then he graduate JUCO and come back to a 4 year. That's a 4.24. So, but I'm saying, so a lot of these things we expect. Do you actually expect all these 12th graders to know this stuff while they're still in high school? Do you honestly?
No, but that's why I started. That's why I started Uncommon, man. It's half prep. It's half. I mean, I think the latest testimony told it the best, man. It's the best way to assess. I'm no dummy. I get college coaches on my staff because I can get real intense and in depth with what we do over 5 hours before we play games at the end. And if all the coaches see college talent, first of all, is there, but to me, it's all about fit. And, matching them with the right program. Like Aaron Gonzalez was a prime example for me. He took the Uncommon approach. I loved him. Everybody talked to, Aaron Gonzalez. He was ranked from Klein, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Hicks, Aaron, right?
Yeah.
Everybody kept talking about, well, he can't take it off the bounce. I said, man, you fools. Y'all been talking about kids who dribble in traffic and fall down and flip and do 94 dribbles. He does what he can do very well, and he's the best kid moving without the basketball that I've seen for Division II kids. I started calling motion programs that run a motion that were smart enough to see, yeah, he can dribble the basketball. He just doesn't dribble like a full 28 times in the traffic. He'll make you pay. So I was passionate about getting Aaron looks after looks. Instead of saying, okay, hey, go work on your off the handle. Now, he was good enough. He wasn't a D1 guy, but the object was to get him a scholarship offer. So again, a kid like that came to 3 camps. He sold me by the 3rd camp, but he also on the background, his parents were asking questions. Give them credit. I was saying, man, you ain't gonna fix your handles in 6 weeks. Keep doing what you do best. I will get it into the right hands. Don't try to become a point guard. you're a hell of a two guard who moves without the basketball as good as any kid I ever seen. You just need a motion coach to get your feel. And so that's what I still enjoy doing, but give him the credit for taking that insight, Mr. Hicks. Like this kid late that's coming to the camp, if he goes to another NAI, he thinks he can go back. He's a 4.44 then. So I try to do everything with UC Exposure. The ones that have listened and came out and kind of accepted the role and accepted the program or level they're at, hey man, the object, I don't care what the parents, the object for me is to get kids connected with college coaches and get kids options. If you want to go prep and think of it, and you know, that's not my wheelhouse. But my objective is to get you an option and get a coach. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to be truthful and honest here. The best way, because I don't coach, but a coach, the best lead on a kid that could adapt and not leave after a semester. I mean, it's not I don't get to coach them every day, but I can see the ones in the way I do my environments. It's not going to expose you. It's going to showcase winning mindset, motor, being able to take coaching. Those things matter if you don't have an offer right now. And that's what One Last Shot's going to be about. I'm going to take both. It's just I've never added transfers or junior college kids. That's the only difference with One Last Shot.
And Coach, you know what I be thinking about, Coach? And maybe it's just me. I just think about 1,600 names in the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not enough spaces for these guys to even go nowhere. What happens? So, and I know the high school seniors who are not that great, what do you, okay, and they can't play basketball. It's not enough spots. All the spots taken. In this gap year for them, because they don't have a spot, what should they be doing? I know I hope they should go to school. I hope they trying to figure out this basketball stuff just might not be for me. Coach, it's more them. To me, it's more them than it was the guys that's going to make it. Go to college. What advice do we have for those guys, Coach? Because it's going to be a lot of them guys. They ain't going to have nowhere to be. What they going to do?
My advice, man, let's just talk real, man. My advice is learn how to get through some shit. Man, learn when you get benched in college to keep fighting. Get better. I mean, goddamn, man. Learn how to.
What is basketball coach? No, Coach. No. Some guys ain't going to coach. Let's say it's 40 spots.
Some 1,600, but we just taking the rule.
I know a lot of them, it ain't gonna go. What? So are you telling them suck it up, and do what?
Man, yeah, I am mentoring them about being proactive, being resilient, and showcasing. I mean, I am mentoring what will get you on some boards, maybe get you
Coach, this ain't for you, Coach. This ain't for you to do at your camps. I'm just talking about to everybody out. We got people that might not come to your camp. I'm talking about you being a coach. You've been a Division I coach. You've been a coach, and you just see, and you know this game ain't for everybody. Robert Hatter know this game ain't for everybody.
Man, we got to put stuff in place that's more informative at the younger ages. Okay. And that's what I try to do.
Okay.
So if you cut, in other words, my summer and fall camps, everybody wants exposure. To be honest, I don't even do, I call it exposure, kind of like that D1 trick we talked about. They're tricking the kids saying you're D1. Same thing. I call it exposure because that's what but really my summer and fall layouts, they're all prep. They're all informational, skills tests. They're all the stuff we're talking about. And then here's what I do. If I see 10 to 12 kids I like, Mr. Hicks out of Houston or Dallas, then the next step is, okay, are you producing in the fall on your high school team? And then I call your coach. I can say, are you going to class? And then in the spring, that's when all bets are off. It becomes an invite only. I've kind of got 3 pillars. So for me, I'm 100%. I can't speak for nobody else. Yeah, I call it exposure, but I'll say it blending it. The summer and the fall are to discover talent that's got a shot, but educate. The ones that have taken that education and blocked out noise, I've gotten offers for full rides.
I understand that, Coach. I think you're missing my point, but that's all right. And I'm gonna give him a point. I guess I'll answer. I saw this from Randy Livingston the other day. He posted. He said each year there's just about 1 million black boys that want to play in the NBA. Of that million, only 400,000 will make it to play even in high school. Of that 400,000, only 4,000 will have a chance to play college basketball. Of that 4,000, only 35 of those 4,000 will play in the NBA. Of that 35, only 7 will start. The average life of an NBA is 4 to 7 years. So the problem is we have 1 million brothers looking for 7 full-time jobs just about every year. And yet, last year, we had 100,000 jobs available to be a computer programmer, an engineer, or a doctor. And only 1,000 brothers qualified. So our appeal to the young black males is to realize the odds. We need more black role models to encourage our youth into math and science. That's the point I'm trying to make, Coach. You're gonna help them you're gonna help some get in college. That's your job. I'm thinking about the ones who ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna be able to get it. I don't care how good he ain't good enough. Them the ones that I'm talking about, Coach. He ain't good
Mr.
enough.
Hatter, you're answering my question. I mean, I know the odds of them actually in a regular, normal year without the transfer portal, without the pandemic, of playing college ball.
Yeah.
So you got me really wrong.
No.
That's what I said. But my job for kids is to give them all the same pathway. I'm more about life.
But some of them are not going to make it, Coach.
I get that. I get that. So I already know the odds, but you can still maximize your potential, show resiliency. You can do things that are persistent. They're going to carry over to that particular deal. I'm very aware of the odds.
Okay.
We're just making it harder for those million African-American kids by this transfer portal. Maybe they don't have a voice above them that ain't saying nothing but, hey, you the greatest, or you got this shit, or whatever you want to say. Let's call it like we see it, being from the southeast side of San Antonio. So I ain't saying I know it. I'm just saying my passion in life, it ain't basketball.
Okay.
I mean, it's what you're talking about. Yeah. If you got the talent, because again, at the end of the day, you have to have college level talent. You can pay everybody in the world. You can go to 45 camps.
There you go.
You can blame everybody. I've been saying this phrase in the beginning of my camp. And to be honest with you, even though I do invite only and I try to select as many college level talents with 48 kids, it really just gives me a direct pathway to the 9 or 11 that can actually play because they're in a room with all state or all region kids. Doesn't make you a college player. You could be an all region high school kid and you're not a college player. So what I say in the beginning of my camps, Mr. Hatter, is I'm tired of this. Hey, I don't trust my coach. I don't trust Mr. Hicks. I don't trust the ranking. You know what I say? You know what I say? Trust you. When you're lifting, when you're studying, when you're reading, bullshit, trust you. I'll tell you what to look like when you're at an event. And I ain't even talking about basketball.
Right.
Trust you. Quit passing the buck. Ain't nobody giving me nothing. But I'm saying in general, I want those kids to embrace that they still control going to class, even if it's a little tough. They control. Here's where it relates to basketball. They control when you're benched, figuring out how not to be benched. Quit telling mom and daddy they ain't in practice. And that's what's happening. That's carrying over. That's hurting these kids, but it's also hurting coaches in the profession and forcing them to take just a transfer. So something's got to change at some level, because again, very few, like you said, even play college basketball. I just try to create a platform where you have all three pillars, and the ones that really are serious, I'm able to kind of guide, follow, track, and then really try to help. But my job is to try to help every kid.
And Coach, and I saw that earlier in the screen. I don't know if you saw it. Somebody posted about you, Aaron Gonzalez, how you helped him. Somebody, and I know what you're doing, but you can't save the world, Coach. We need some.
Why not?
You can't save the world. I know you can try,
You can try.
but you can't save the world. I'm really talking to the basketball community. That's who I'm really talking to. We got to, and I love basketball. Let me tell you something. Being a basketball player or football or sports at a university, hey, y'all, let me tell y'all something. They bent over backwards for you. It's a great situation. You're not like, I'm finna tell you the truth, parents. I love it. You don't get treated like the rest of the kids. You don't have to go register like a registered. They register for you. A lot of stuff is done for you. So being an athlete in college is great. I don't care what level you are. So I want your kid to have that advantage. But I also want him, if it don't happen for him, to play basketball in college, baby, still strive. We got some other stuff that you can do. You follow me?
Well, of course.
Uh-huh.
I built Uncommon on that premise. I know the odds. So I'm in the house of the non-Division I kid. There's enough. I'm in the house of not on the ranked kids. I'm in the house of finding a hungry kid and trying to help them understand. So trust me, Mr. Hatter, behind the scenes, I've helped kids that have no chance to play college ball, like in the last couple of years, none. That will call me. I don't care if they end up with college ball, putting them on my website that I got them an offer. They all can have the same kind of information and path that I believe will help them get into school or just better themselves or better their role on their high school team. That's another one, Mr. Hicks, is first of all, become a better high school teammate when you get out of the Wild West and you get out. See what you can do to help your high school team win, because I hear that a lot. Like, hey, my high school coach is playing him in the wrong position. My high school coach ain't getting it. Trust you. Go back. I promise you, I've never been in a coaching meeting where we've said these things, Mr. Hicks. Man, that kid works too hard. Man, he's a great teammate. Man, he pulls for us. He helps us win. Let's figure out how to bench him. I have never heard a coaching meeting from middle school up we're sitting in the back room figuring out how to bench Johnny that does those things. We're figuring out how to try to play him even if he has a broke jump shot and can't make a layup. So if you can do both, you're going to better yourself. What I try to do is control what you can control, Mr. Hatter, which has nothing to do with basketball's life. And what my passion has been in creating Uncommon, even before this transfer portal, when I was a college coach, it would break my heart. Again, this started from a kid from Mississippi that just didn't know yet. And most of them were too afraid to feel dumb in a classroom. And I used to tell them in one-on-one meetings, son, if somebody makes you feel that way, it's dumb not to go to tutoring. It's dumb not to try. But I get it because you're in there. You just try, and we're going to figure this out together. Just try. What broke my heart was a guy who came in and would be on a bus in the first month for the littlest things for nothing. I just knew that was it. I lost him. I didn't have a year. Because you need more than a semester to really dig in and trust each other when you're at that level. You need more than a semester, and we're taking that away with this portal and the APR. And it's a Wild West. It ain't kids. Kids are still kids. Human beings are still human beings. I'm trying to think about when I was 18, if I had to go through this and be 18. So I try to intertwine a healthy balance in my events, man. I'm not really a camp director. I'm just a longtime college coach that's trying to give back to the game.
Good.
And if I can help kids.
Awesome.
Now of course, we just tuned in as Coach V with Uncommon Basketball, and he runs a series of camps around the state of Texas. On May the 30th is his upcoming camp, and you're dividing. Who is this camp for again? How much is it? Where will it be held?
It's going to be at Game On in Fort Worth, which is a good facility. But they have a good term. They do a good job with our events by like kind of separating us from everybody. There's a little traffic in there and putting us in the back. And what I did with this live stream stuff for me in my spring events, man, it was a crapshoot. You know, I didn't do very well with this live stream, man. You already know that, Hatter. So, and I wouldn't even do it. I was paying somebody to do it. So everybody's complaining about breaking out. So what I'm doing, Mr. Hicks, that I think is more credible and valid for this camp, based on the calls I get, is I got a really good company out of Texas Ranked, and a guy who films for them, and he has a lot of followers. So I don't take no credit. If you got a bunch of followers, yes, I want you on board. They may watch you, and they may not know me. It's about the kids.
Right.
So forget all that junk. So like game film, we're gonna film all the games. That way, I actually have really good footage. And then your guy, and I got to give a shout out to him, or he'll disown me. Todd Shelton. Texas Prep Report. Mr. Tex up in Dallas, and he's going to help me as well. And this originated with us trying to do this transfer portal camp in Oklahoma City. When Shelton got that job at IMG, I took over and said, look, it's important for me because there's still seniors that came to my spring camps that can play, that after May 30th, those spots may start to open. They're waiting right now in the transfer portal. So if I can invite seniors, then I'm in. And so I kind of took over. So it really has three components. We're going to film the games. I got an extra evaluator at Texas Prep Report. And then I'm going to do what I do and just run. The only major difference is transfers and junior college kids that are unsigned are eligible to attend. So to me, I'm not going to say a name. There's a point guard that came to my Houston camp that said, hey, what's going to be different? To me, let's just call it like I see it. Show up at the camp, all the JUCO coaches, their NAI coaches, I said, and beat out the guy out the portal with 48 players, face to face. You just answer your questions. It ain't rocket science. That's why you come back. I said, in my opinion, if you're a senior unsigned, and there's dudes there that are Division I, Division II guys that obviously got signed at that level, come on. I got 48, and I'm going to put you in a group, and we're going to isolate some situations, beat them out. Where do people talk about that? Show some resiliency, toughness, show them that you are a scholarship-level kid. So I'm just trying to bump up the competitiveness of this last event because there's too much at stake. If 8 kids get offers out of the 48, to me, that's success. If 8 kids, think about your odds, 48, if 8 kids, because I'm realistic, get to go to school because of this camp, then it is a huge success.
Coach,
but
how did you get the transfer portal guys to buy into this?
Just my connections with guys that lost so many kids that are trying to help them, because there's been a lot of coaching changes. If you'll notice on the transfer portal, there's been just as many coaching changes. So there's a lot of guys looking for kids, and they may want to help Johnny, Billy, Bobby. I don't want to. So they're just giving me contacts. Hey, this kid ain't coming back because I left. Now remember, we're talking about low major D2 kids. Here's what I want those kids to hear. If you're a transfer or junior college kid and you think you have a D1 offer because of interest, come to camp. Call me, DM me, whatever you got to do. Come show. It's just one day. It's not expensive. It's $110. You're going to get a copy of game film. The whole staff is staffed with college coaches that are current JUCO coaches. So, they're current JUCO coaches. And we asked earlier, if you're a 4.24, I think your best avenue is to go JUCO, because once you choose that, like I said, that kid just didn't know. If he chose a 4-year program, he was talking about going back to where he was leaving and go work on his game. I'm like, no. You know the 4.44 is, son? You need to go JUCO. You need to come to camp and get your JUCO if that's what you want to do. Again, these kids just don't know, Mr. Hatter, Mr. Hicks, and I try my best to do both. But once the lights come on, my job is to expose or showcase. It's on, man. It's tough in college. You can see, and it's tough for coaches to pick kids up. That's why I've been blessed to see 49 kids get offers out of spring camps. Whether I had something to do with it or not, I know what I do on the back end as far as matchmaking. I know that they're going to follow that lead, and I try to stay credible with where I give them and not worry about where the parents think they may or may not play. That's up to them. And that's what I've tried to do. This May 30th date is really because of what the coaches have told me. We're saving one offer. At the end of May, we're going to fill that spot, which means if I don't get the kid from Rice, okay, now I may take that unsigned senior in Houston. I've been telling them, come out. You haven't taken an uncommon approach yet. I'll fight for you. But I got to, so I've got some unsigned seniors listening that they got interest after May 30th, man. It's going to be tough. I'm going to move into my underclassmen series of prep camps and helping a kid, yada, yada.
I like that. Jimbo?
So now, Coach V, the process or the format of how this camp goes. Elaborate. It's 48 kids. How are they dispersed, and what are some of the things that they will be guided or instructed on or be planted into their mindsets during your particular camp? You only got them 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, it's 4.5 hours. I'll break it down quick so you kind of know the whole layout. I've got it split already. I got it split where only 24 guards can sign up and only 24 big wings and forwards. So there's a lot of position needs and leads. So once those 24 slots are filled, so that's going to give a kid a unique advantage. I rent 2 courts. So yours 12 in a basket. If you want to be seen, you're going to be seen, good, better, and different. So there's 12 in a basket with a college coach running that basket. And my college coaches have one-page templates now and I just tell them one thing. I'm trying to get better too. Give me your starting 5 because everybody likes different kids. I don't care who you think's good, who you think's bad. I want your starting 5 at the end of today. Like who you taking home because they're all current college coaches. So if I see 4 names that match and they got to have fit, style of play. So that's an avenue for me to reiterate the kids I can really push. But here's what we do. We do a skills challenge. A little bit, I'm going to change it up a little bit, but it isolates and you get one name from that. We talked about it. It's a little different than my fall camps, but we do if you're the most highly skilled kid with no motor, you're not winning that. You're not winning it if you can stick jump shots with no motor. If you're skilled with will, about 90% of the time, the Aaron Gonzalez's, the Lobs, the kids that have won that, the Evan Butts, who dominated that portion of camp, I kept saying, you're missing out. I don't give a shit if he's 5'11". This is a player. I mean, because he not only could he have skill, he had the will to beat everybody in that gym on that portion consistently. So he sold me. So, I mean, and he had a pretty good year, by the way, because nobody took him. I had to finally call Charles Haraway out in Arizona, and he was I think freshman all district, all conference, whatever. Great. But then we do the will challenge, which is a position split where there's 4 scenarios without the ball in your hands. That's all 50-50 balls, where it's going to test again your motor. But again, I want to also teach the kids, this is where you use your IQ. If you're bigger and you keep popping out on this segment, be versatile, guy. If you're bigger than a 6'4" guys and you don't pound them in my 3 dribble segment down low. So in other words, I tell them 3 dribbles, Mr. Hicks. You should see some of the big guys that run outside on the perimeter and fall down. And then there's a big guy that thinks a game, and I'll tell him and I'll prep it, and he'll dominate down there. There's that 6'5" swing player who will take him outside. And then, so I want coaches to be able to evaluate versatility. But I also want to teach the kids before the coaches watch, think the game right now. So I'm not tricking them. We're going to do a 3 dribble segment where you got 4 college scenarios. If you're big and you can take a guy down low, or if you're little and you take a guy outside, use your advantage. And then you'll be surprised that 80% of these fools won't. They'll jump outside and start shooting fadeaway jumpers. But again, I prepped them. The ones that have gotten offers, they show their versatility. Then we do 3-on-3, 4-on-4, and it's defense and offense. But I give some real strict rules, like you got to play man-to-man. You can't switch on screens. I ain't going to have long enough to say talking on defense is – you got to talk on defense.
Coach, you can't switch on screens, Coach. Come on now.
Hey, Rick Cooper, who just got the Texas Tech job, who I worked 4 years for, and Mark Adams, who I worked with Texas – we did stuff like that to see who communicates the best.
Okay.
And who's tough enough to dig through. It's not about getting stuck. You see kids raise up their level and see what they're really like at their highest level. So maybe that kid with no motor on his last leg for one day that has all the athletic ability, like we talked about, if I prep them, I said trick them for one day. Show them that you can get through screens. Because in college they said screens. Show them you can say speed right. Hey, watch your left. That's why I do that. If not, they would just run around. And guys have really shown out in that 3-on-3 and 4-on-4 segment. And what I do with it is single elimination, Mr. Hicks. If you can't play hard in a 7-minute single elimination where you can only score on the 3-on-3 on the defensive end, and then the 4-on-4 you can score on offense, but with some room, then you're not ready. Somebody always steps up. I like to see the guys that step up and rise up, knowing it's their last 8. I'm getting looks here. It's time. No excuses. But remember, before I play 5-on-5, whoever wins in that segment, they're in my top game. No politics. Trust you. I say it every segment now. No agendas. No, if you're ranked, you win, you're in. I just took the coaching hat off and put him in an atmosphere where with this transfer portal, you'll see resiliency. You'll see hunger. And yes, it matters. And if you're close, I want to encourage you, come show that. Maybe you turn that close into getting to school, and then you're going to have to figure out every day how to make it to the next day, Mr. Hatter, how to make it to the next class. And that's what I really encourage.
I like that.
So what we do is, and then we play 5-on-5. So the more talented kids, whoever wins the 5-on-5, that's how I come up with the top prospect championship game. It's going to be real interesting because I've got some junior college kids that coaches have placed. New Mexico Junior College is sitting their staff, and that's a direct big circle under Texas Tech. That's Luke Adams, Coach Adams' son. I'm going to give him a shout out. And I'm working with Archie Young. I mean, he's a Houston guy. Love him. Forever Films. I just love people that are in it for the kids.
Okay.
I ain't trying to oversell or give it, but he helps me get filmed to the right places. He doesn't charge me a lot.
That's good.
To me, that's the guy that's in it for the kids.
I got you.
Because they want to get filmed. So I can call Archie down there if there's some Houston kids that come up. But
that's good.
At the end of the day, like New Mexico Junior College is sending, here's what I tell some of the guys like Weissman and them out there. They're sending their 2 dudes that Chris Beard placed there now that are really high major dudes. So come go against a high major guy for one day and just hold your own. You may leave with an offer because they know who those 2 dudes are. I got 2 high major guys sign up, a wing and a big. That's directly coming down the channels from Tech because of the change in coaching to get them more exposure. And they're going to go back. They're not going to be recruitable kids, but they're involved in the camp. To me, I think that's great. Because I think a couple of kids that are unsigned in Houston have been in my camps are tough. Come out there and go ahead and battle them. Show what you can do, man. They already know what you can do. Show what I've been seeing. Because I can't offer the kid. I can just get them seen. I don't have no credit there. I get them seen. They had to offer Aaron Gonzalez. They're not giving me money. I just worked really hard. Lubbock Christian University. I had to guard Lubbock Christian University. I had to guard Todd Duncan's teams. Todd Duncan's teams move without the ball as good as anybody in the country. And so he doesn't worry about a guy if he can dribble 18 times. Aaron Gonzalez moves as well as any guard I had at a camp without the ball in his hands. He doesn't do things he can't do. He may go 4 for 6. He's efficient. So, but I see them enough in camp. So if I haven't seen you, you think it's just another camp or showcase. No, I'm going to be working for weeks into June when these guys ain't getting the kid out of the portal. There's going to be some spots. I'm already getting hit up on text. If you see a big wing, coach, that can put it on the floor. If you see a pick and pop 4, coach, because the D2s can't get out. That's why I'm filming the games. Because all these parents care about how many coaches are going to be there. I don't run giant showcases and promote the D1 guy that all the coaches are there to look at while you're playing bad basketball. I'm not trying to burn no bridges. I created a 48-player platform where almost all the invites have a real shot. I want to give them a real shot, Mr. I have to go back to your story.
I respect that.
They got a real shot.
I like that.
And
that's what we're doing on May 30th. I got spots.
That is Coach V, of course, Uncommon Basketball. Coach, it's one of the things that you guys that are watching, I forewarned you that passion is one of the biggest attributes that Coach V possesses when he installs in his camps. This stuff is not just add water.
Right.
There are camps going on all around the country. You are obligated to do whatever you want to do. But the thing is, for many of you parents out there, listen to this. Think about all of the money that you've invested in this process to put your son in a situation where they can obtain a free or a college education for as low as possible, for as economic. You're at the end of your rope when it comes to running out of time as a 12th grader. It's the last lap around the track. $110 is a lot for some, but is it worth the investment for this type of passion? Is it worth the investment? And the thing is, if you look at it, the bang for your buck. If it's 48 players, you basically have to become one of the top 12% of that. Right?
I will say, and I don't want to interrupt, but the top prospects, we have a formula where the 9 guys earn it. The 9 winners of the last game are guys from that first segment that won, and then the winners of the 5-on-5. Then we match them up as coaches. Mm-hmm. So I want to see that big against that big, that guard against that guard. So I'm evolving and getting better. So having said that, and then I saved 3 picks for the coaches' picks. So that starting 5 we talked about. It's still fair. That's about the only, I guess you can call it, but it's a college coach making that. I remember I told him in the beginning of camp, I don't care who you think's good. Today, who are you taking home? So if 3 kids have a great day and they're all on these sheets, then that makes up the 12. I give 3 staff picks. We converse for a little bit. Those 12 in my report, they're going to get a game film. I'm going to build them a profile. I'm going to link a transcript up for your mom, your dad, your mentor, stuff that really matters within 48 hours after this camp. And I'm going to circulate it to who I think needs you, wants you, and has to be there. So I only added the extra $11 because my camps in the summer and fall will go back to $99. But I only added that because I'm paying almost $500 more for game film. I'm paying for the facility. I don't want to take any chances with what I do. I don't know any better not to try to be real and do something. So, and be a difference maker. Do I want to make a good living one day? Yes, I want to I want to get off of this porch. But I don't have to get rich doing this. I just want to make sure it scales out and stays the same. I've gotten opportunities now and offers to go to Florida and some other places where I know people. I just want to keep my formula the same to make it affordable, Mr. Hatter, for the million kids to walk the walk. Give them all the same information and all the same opportunity. I can't fix the road out, but give me a guy that comes back 3 times. So give credit to Gonzalez. We use him because he changed and got away with what didn't matter. Again, all I had to offer was I had to make that decision for 21 years. Mm. And I tell them all the time, yes, I was interested in 1,000 of you dudes when I was at gyms giving 5. I can play pilot. If I can give you 5, oh yeah, we're interested, baby. You look good. I have 4 guys on my board, 4 names. You want to know how to get on that? That's what I try to do. Interest is not an offer. So that is what we're trying to figure. The one last shot, I almost call it one last spot because college coaches are saving one last spot. So there will be money open right after May 30th for them guys that don't get the kid out the transfer portal. Not everybody's going to get the kid out the transfer portal at the D2, NAI, JUCO ranks. So if you want a real shot, those are the kids that I'm trying to connect and help the coaches in early June if they don't get their guy. Obviously, if they get their guy, that spot's gone. But there will be spots that start to come open for those levels.
And Coach, and once again, as May the 30th in Fort Worth, and that website for more information is what?
Uncommonbasketball.com. And you can email me if you saw this and you want more details. I'll send you details. But I also want details too. Like I said, I want it to be a relative kid. I don't mean that bad, but I mean, you got to have accolades. I don't run stuff, or I'd run showcases, and not bad because there's different avenues for basketball where 200 kids are not even playing varsity. So I don't want to be any time waster or money waster. So you got to be an all district or an all regional. You got to have some accolades. So if you want to know if you're qualified for the camp, you can email me at uncommonbasketball@gmail.com. I mean, if you have a resume where I think you have a real shot, then yes, let's get you in. And let's get you going. And then I'm extending invites daily to kids I know, whether they get on board or not, I know need this. And I know, man, I pray that they sign up, not because of the 110, but I know that there's 3 people looking for a big wing. Jamarcus Holt, come on, sign up. Get out here, Jamarcus. You need this. You're the perfect kid. You ain't going to Division I. Sign up, Jamarcus. I mean, there's a kid that came to my Houston camp. Sign up. I mean, he's a kid that I think could leave here and benefit. I just used one name because he was at my Houston camp.
That's good.
And I think he can fit into what level of coaches are going to need that position and have a good day. But that's an example. So uncommonbasketball@gmail.com. You can email me. And again, like I told Mr. Hatter, eventually, if this doesn't work out, man, I kind of want to be Ernie Johnson. Because
we need you, Coach. Coach,
I'll be the Ernie Johnson,
job
man.
easy, Coach. Guess what? I'm just sitting back here.
They let Shaq in there. Shaq wasn't on the show forever, man. Shaq had to be funny for 2 shows, and they started squeezing him in.
Yeah, I got you, Coach.
Got some charisma, man.
Coach, you about this close to being in, Coach.
All right, man. If I get my internet right. I'm always blessed to be talking to you guys, man.
All right, man.
It's always a blessing to be talking to you guys.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks a bunch, Coach V. And
Thank you.
much success with your camp, May the 30th, guys, in Fort Worth. And that is one last shot. Of course, that's a camp, 48, 24 guards, 24 wings and forwards. Oh. And they will get all coaches will be college coaches, with most of them on location. 2 courts, 12 people per rim, and that is some good guidance. And you guys, the top 9?
And then we isolate the games too. One more thing, the 5-on-5, you can see you're not having to think as a coach or film. I make it purposely have rules. You can't dribble more than 5 times in my games. And you have to play man-to-man. I'm just helping the kids not look silly. You can work your way out of scholarship by dribbling 48 times and playing back. So I help them. If you can't make a play after half court and 5 dribbles, you're going to look bad. I'm actually helping you, I tell them. 5 dribbles is plenty if you're a college player to still not take away from your game and make efficient plays. I can't coach them, so I just try to instill some things that coaches want to see. Not a guy dribbling 68 times at the top between his legs 45 times like he's Steph Curry. That's for another camp. You get 5 dribbles in the 5-on-5, and we're just going to be on one court. There ain't a lot of traffic going. So all eyes are going to be on that court in the game portion. Gives you a real look. That's all I'm really trying to create, is the look I wanted when I just didn't know and I was coaching at those levels. Low major, D2, D3, NAI. Man, how do I know what? That's why I want a holistic evaluation and also help the kids understand what exposes them. I know some kids I've seen change in a day that make me so proud. Like I hear they don't have no motor. They don't have, for that day, something clicked, Mr. Hatter. Like, I want to get off the streets. Screw that. I got what he's saying. Seriously.
I got you.
I ain't got to, and they just come out and they show they can guard. And they may have never guarded before. Good for them. Coach, that means they made progress.
I can't wait to see this game film. This camp film, Coach. You got me wanting to come up there, but I'm not coming in them gyms right now. But you got me wanting to come take off my stuff.
You come in one of those 4 buildings you got. Can't hide that money. He had two new hot rods behind him when he did sound check, Mr. Hoops.
Coach,
hot rods.
Coach, I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna put one up on the road, Coach, and come up there, Coach. But Coach,
please,
Coach, you got to give me an area out by myself now. I can't be coming over there with all them people breathing on me and putting their fluids on me.
Go to Walgreens, get your shot. They got shots now.
Thanks a bunch, Coach V, man. Appreciate it, man. We'll see you guys. Hey, man, of course, that is Coach V, man, with and he is definitely his camp May the 30th in Fort Worth. If you live up in the DFW area, you know what? I've been knowing Coach V for a few years, and I can say, I'm just telling you, he does what he says. A lot of people say stuff and don't do it. He does what he says. And of course, I saw Bobby Benjamin. I didn't get a chance to get to your question. He's running into overtime. Yes. Well, can you use the one film from one camp and use it for next one? Well, probably. But I will say that obviously if a kid performed that well at a previous camp, then if he did not, then if he performed that well, then why is he still out there? So he probably didn't perform good enough with that particular film from before. So sometimes, you just got to keep pushing on through. And for some, it may take one swing at it. Some it may take two. But yes, I understand there are some kids. Guess what? Just like Coach V can take that film from a previous camp, those kids can as well. If you feel that you perform good or great in a camp setting or in an event as an unsigned senior, get your film. Get your film, and you send it out yourself. You simply go on the websites for different conferences, look up the conferences, and go school by school. Those coaches, their email addresses are posted on most college sites. Look up roster. That's what you look for. You look for the school and look for men's basketball, then roster. When you look up roster, then once you look up roster, the coaches will be on the top or the bottom of the roster page. Okay. That's what you look for. It's not going to say college coaches. Look for roster. And then once you do that, you email each one of those guys. Then rinse, wash, and repeat for the next school. And you keep going. And so if it's 10 schools in a conference, that means it should take you. You're copying and pasting, or you're resending what you've already sent. Don't send it to a group of coaches. Parents, listen to me. You send it one at a damn time. You want to itemize that. You send Coach so-and-so, Coach Robert Hatter, and put the school up on it. And if it's a head coach, put head coach so-and-so. Or don't just say the name. Some coaches get offended. Some coaches are real petty. They love the title coach. They love the title head coach. So don't head coach so-and-so. And give them the guts of the letter, the paragraph is simple. Wow. You include also his academic resume. Okay. Guess what? You save time. Here goes a transcript if you need it, and black out your birth or whatever you need to black out on there. Social security number. Black it out.
Transcript upon receipt. If you ain't no use to sending everybody your transcript. But
you can black some stuff if you know your stuff is good.
Okay.
If you know your numbers are good.
Okay.
You send it to everybody. Okay. But you block it out. You black out your social security number for the kid on there. Black it out. Okay. And you black out whatever else. You black out your address if you want to. Black it out if you want to. But the grades, it still gets the picture, and you scan it in, send it. And you take that and resend another email. Jim Hicks, Coach Jim, send it to those. And guess what? That way now, nobody is going to work harder for your baby than you. And I don't give a damn how many people can persuade or influence you to think that they will. Nobody going to do it better, going to work harder than you. So understand, at some point, you guys got to wake up and you have to realize that your input should never be usurped by somebody else's output when it comes to your baby. Your baby. You can think of all the damn excuses you want. He ain't ranked high enough. Coach is not worried. I'm worried about that right now. If you have resources or references, include them in there. But at the same time, coaches know certain people. It's a small world. Give a reference, an academic reference, a former teacher or a current administrator in the school. Give one of your coaches, whether it be high school or grassroots, and give a person outside of either one. That's 3 solid references. Whether it be the pastor at the church, give something. Your first job boss that you had. Give another person that had nothing to do with basketball, nothing to do with school. That's good 3 solid angles. Now, for those that submit that means now here, or if you know somebody that went to the school, if you know a coach that went to the school, if you know a parent that had a kid that went to that school, use him as a reference.
Hey, hold up. Especially if you're trying to send some of this stuff to Memphis, I'm going to tell you, use my name, you're in there. I didn't realize how much clout I had till the other day. Use my name if you want to. If you send it
Yeah, but
something
at
to
the same
Memphis,
time, you have to know them.
yes. What?
Don't just name drop. Don't put me on no damn thing as no reference. And then, I don't know nothing about you. I'm gonna tell the truth.
Oh, but he gonna call me.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Understand?
Uh-huh.
Hey, you got this reference. You got Jane Doe. She says you're man. Oh yeah, I know her son. I know. I can't, Coach. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know where they live at. I never ate at the. I never
Wait
ate
a minute.
with
Have
them.
you got some breaking news you wanted to discuss? Because people keep texting me. You were supposed to have some breaking news you didn't share last week. You didn't come yesterday, and you got some breaking news. We got a few minutes, because I don't like the weather outside, so we got a few minutes. You remember the news?
Yeah, we got break. Yeah, we got the news, and there was a couple of drop pieces of news, and I wanted to get a formal. They asked me to break the news on Wednesday at 3 p.m. They asked me to
I'm
break
getting
it.
tired of this damn news already.
They asked me to break it on Wednesday.
I'm getting tired of that.
I mean, and guess what? And when people out of respect, when people ask you to break their news and they give it, you control it. You give them respect. He asked me to say, man, just hold it Wednesday.
Jimmy,
and
it's okay. You doing the right thing. I'm just getting tired of their ass. You doing the right thing. I'm getting tired of it.
So it's going, and we'll see. So tomorrow is Wednesday. So you guys will get that on tomorrow. We'll give it to you. Meanwhile, want to also give this past weekend, we talked grassroots basketball. We forgot we in overtime, about to land the plane in about 4 minutes. But we want to give a shout out to.
Give me something that happened this weekend out of town. Tell me about JL3. Addition by subtraction. Tell me something.
The JL3 team went to the Bob Gibbons Tournament of Champions, and they advanced each of their 15, 16s, and 17 and under teams advanced to the semifinals. And I say each of them mean the top teams. They had 2 17 and under teams there. And the second 17 under team beat a EYBL team. That team hadn't lost a game all spring, Helen. That's the McMullen team. Remember, they won the spring icebreaker. They won their respective division of the spring icebreaker, the 11th grade division. And they hadn't lost a game, if I'm not mistaken. You guys correct me if I'm wrong.
Keep talking, Jimmy. I'm gonna put something on the screen that I want people to know, but we can't forget about what's happening tonight. But keep going.
And also, once again, Bryce Griggs, Terrence Arsenault went to Atlanta. Remember, see, here's the thing that was funny. A week ago, they had 3 players that left the program.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. 3 players left the program. You had Austin Nunez. You had Chris Johnson. You had Big Vince
Jimmy, leave him alone. Leave Vince alone. Big Vince.
Iwuchukwu. That's what it is. That's how it goes. Iwuchukwu. All
right.
And so, those 3 left the team, in addition to Sam Bradford left the team. So that's Austin Nunez, Big Vince, Chris Johnson, and Sam Bradford. That's 4 players in one weekend left the team, right? So guess what? Everybody's like, man, and I come to find out how in the news when we mentioned last week about the kid from Arkansas, who did a number job on Big Vince on that Friday night up in Dallas. Mm-hmm. Well, that statement came from one of the viewers on the Chop Shop. Mm-hmm. So on the Chop Shop, that's where it came from, and we co-signed him, and that was hot off the press, and come to find out that was indeed true.
He played?
No. He was going to possibly play.
Okay.
Somebody that was watching the Chop Shop has been accused. Somebody went and called that parent and put a block on it.
Yeah, because the mama was on here. So mama came on, Jimmy, the air. So
I see Corey Jones. It says his mom, the kid Ware's mom says, told her to tell y'all hello.
Tell her I said what's up.
Tell her what's happening, Miss.
Hold up, Corey.
And so somebody blocked. Yeah, come on, Jimmy. From what I understand, it's alleged that somebody called and they call it hating and hating on the move, block the move.
It was a great
That
move,
kid was going to play.
Miss Ware, huh?
And that team made it to the semifinals despite not having a low post presence, and they still made it. So what do you say about all those teams that JL3 beat in Atlanta?
Well, yeah.
Remember, understand something. They, from what I understand, they have lost to teams that were, in other words, JL3 without Vince, with or without him in the last couple of weeks, they have not lost to nobody that they shouldn't have lost to that was better on paper.
Okay, gotcha.
So now Bryce Griggs opens up 27 points the first game, 27 points the second game. Comes back with a 24 and a 16, something like that. So he's grooving up there. And guess what?
What?
It's like people they see it, but they don't see it.
Yes.
And so you look at it ever since at one point in Dallas, the team was down 16 points against Lone Star Elite. Bryce Griggs came alive, helped spark them to the win.
Right.
They're down 16 in the second half. They lost the next game to Dream Vision. Right? Even in that game, Bryce did good.
Right.
Then they come back on Sunday and play the team out of Utah, one of their best teams in the state.
Goddamn.
Bryce and Terrence Arsenault. I mean, not saying nobody else did nothing, but they led the charge. Another win. Go to Vegas. I just mentioned a while ago, 27-27 out the gates. Right? Including beating another EYBL team and a couple of the sneaker sponsor teams. So then you go at that point, the question is, we ask it all right now. Bryce does not have to be better than Keontae George right now. He doesn't have to be better than Cason Wallace right now. See my keywords right now? He don't have to be better than him right now. That does not diminish that he's still better than most, than the vast majority of the guys, because he's not, understand, for him to go over there and that team just make it to Sunday afternoon was a huge testament, playing in that, and there was some good fire over there.
Yes. Bob Givens always have fire.
So that doesn't mean he's arrived. The team has arrived. They still got work to do. But this team is not chopped liver.
Yeah. You know, like,
they're not chopped liver.
People were trying to get in touch with me, talking about they this, he ain't there. They quit. But I ain't heard a peep out of their ass since. But keep going. Keep going, Jim.
So the thing is, Terrence Arsenault, and it is what I say, because one thing, guys, when I do evaluations, I'm real cautious about putting a stamp on certain kids because I've seen it backfire so many times. That's why I'm reluctant. They say, well, I'm reluctant. But at the same time, I can tell you this. I can put a right pocket on this. Terrence Arsenault is the best shot blocking guard in the country. It's in high school right now. So let that sink in. For you to be the best shot blocking guard in the country right now, that means on the defensive end, a coach know what they can possibly get out of you. Not to mention, he's already proven to be clutch. If there's a clutch moment, I want Arsenault shooting my ball. He proved that on the highest platform in the state of Texas, Class 6A. Matter of fact, is there in a Class 7A anywhere? Does any state have a 7A basketball?
I don't know.
Class 6A is the highest that you can go. So in the state of Texas, we know it's one of the highest platforms. So if you ever win the state 6A in the state of Texas, that means your team is validated. Well, I'm sorry, but Arsenault is 5A. But Beaumont United was a 6A. They
Don't
could have. They
matter.
going right back. Like it. Beaumont United would be when they do the rezoning. They're 6A had next year. Everybody knows that. That was a trap move. They went down to 5A on their own. They going because of the hurricane. I mean, because of the floods and the numbers were skewed because of the counts on the flood. They will be 6A next, not this season, but next year in 2022. They go back to 6A.
But back
and it's
back
going to be a problem.
Point, man, just, and Jimmy, and you know how some people just can't wait. And some people just can't wait. And they can't help it. And y'all know who y'all are. They can't wait. Oh, people done caught up. Man, let me tell you something. Some of y'all just need to watch what y'all be saying to people. That's all I'm going to say. Some of y'all have to watch what y'all be saying about. Because people questioning how y'all feel about some of these kids in this city. I told y'all, people in this city, the press and who all the people in this city, do me a favor. You ain't got to baby them, but guess what? Protect our elite players. Protect them. We all should protect our family. We all are part of a collective. These still young 15-year-old and 16 and 17-year-old men. One that has lost his best friend in the world. You don't know the emotions that's going on. I know y'all, well, I don't care. Yes, I care. I care. Lost my dad when I was young. Still affects me right now. So just watch. Just watch them. Just sometimes just don't say nothing. Just shut the hell up. My mama said, you ain't got nothing good. Just shut the hell up. Especially if you in this city. Protect these kids, man. It's some sharks and some wolves out here. Protect them. Yeah, Jimmy.
So when you say protect them, what do you mean?
I mean, let me put it like this. You know this kid ain't fell off and you agreeing with it? He ain't this, he ain't this. I don't like it. I don't like his brother. I don't like this. I don't like it. It got nothing to do with basketball. Just shut y'all ass up sometime. Worry about other people. Just be quiet. Cause it make you sound good? No, it make you sound bad in my eyes. Protect them from you ain't got if they can't play, they can't play. That's why this guy, what's his name? We talked about it yesterday. Kwame Brown hadn't said nothing for years, and everybody been calling him a bum. And then the bullies got bullied this damn week. Because these guys been constantly running their damn mouth about people on their shows, in their column, around other people. That's all I'm saying, man. Protect them, lift them, thank you, lift them up and support them. I know y'all got y'all cynical ways of evaluating people, but you can't ever tell me Bryce Grigson fell off. You just made a point about Terrence Arsenault, best shot blocker. Bryce is one of the best ball handlers I ever seen in my 30 years of watching basketball in high school. Never seen nobody handle that ball like that between traffic. Kyrie Irving. But he done fell off. But he got a skill that transfer to any level of basketball ever. Come on, man. Come on. We got to stop that. Just because you don't like him, okay. But just be quiet. Just shut up. That's all I'm saying. That's what I mean about protecting.
And of course, I'm looking at some of the comments in the Boom Boom Room.
I don't care about the comments.
Corey said, adults need to stop attacking these youngsters. Very professional and called for. It's understand a lot of the guys out there, different people. I think that maybe it might be time for some people, some of you guys to reevaluate whom you are giving credit to as evaluators. So that might be the thing. And because then you just pay attention. And now if a person says, you know, if something happens on a weekend, then that weekend the final exam for that person. We all know if you play on a Nike team, their final exam is the Peace Jam. What they do in June or May or April is not the final exam. Could be deemed as a midterm for some, but it's not the final exam for the Nike programs. Peace Jam, let me put it like, for example, no matter what they do right now, whoever shines at Peace Jam is going to linger the longest. They're going to get the heaviest ink. They're going to get the anointing at that point in time. Now, there will be other opportunities. For example, you have a Pangos camp coming up in 2 weeks for some of the kids around the country we'll be going to. That's going to be an opportunity for some.
Valuation period.
But that's on an individual basis. You also have, we are expected to host a top 100 camp this year. The date has not been, we know the dates, but it hasn't been released. It's supposed to be in July. And that will be an opportunity for some on an individual platform. But on the team, others are with their teams. And when in the team setting, here's the thing. When you mentioned Terrence Arsenault and Bryce Griggs, both are in their going this the last lap around the track. Both have a lot of ground to cover as far as some people, as to getting a certain range of that consensus recruit or ranking. You know, let's say to get into that top 20, they have a lot of ground to cover. It's possible. Don't get it twisted. Think about it like this. We saw Curran Roach go from unknown in Texas to ended up being, he needed one more weekend out there at Vegas. If they had one more live period, it don't have to be a live period. They had one more event. Curran Roach would have played his way into a McDonald's All-American. I believe that with all my heart. Trust me, I'm talking to him.
And I'm glad you're saying this. And I want my people to, y'all see how fickle this stuff is? I want the people to look. See how he just said, Curran Roach is the same damn player. It would have been, but he said one more week would affect him for McDonald's. He was gonna be the same damn player. That's how fickle this evaluation and this stuff is, man. It's just, parents, to me, don't y'all get too upset about this. Let me be upset for you. Don't y'all get upset about this stuff. I will handle it. I'm telling you, I know God put me in this position for a reason. Y'all be cool. Y'all don't say none of these guys because these guys are sensitive out here. They gonna hate on your kids behind your back when they don't think you listen. But I hear because I got people everywhere. But it's okay because what God got for your baby, no man can put asunder. So just keep working. I tell y'all, and parents, the reason I'm doing this, they did mine like that. He ain't like Terry Arsenault and Bryce. They hated on him. He just a little skinny dude that wore goggles. Daddy, so what? It got nothing to do with the kid. You ever met the kid? Some of these people ain't never even met Bryce. Is it because he don't come hang out with y'all? Come on, man. Grown ass men don't even be hanging with no kid no way. Y'all, man, we just got to get, man, we got to get better. I know it's been going, Jimmy, I know you've been doing this 20 years. It's a time for a change. It's time. Let's elevate, y'all. Let's elevate our understanding. Let's elevate our conversation. It don't have to be the same as 20 damn years ago. 20 years ago, we didn't have no. We got a phone right here that has more technology in it than the people had that went to the first rocket to the moon. We got a phone here that guys filming a whole movie using an iPhone 7. 20 years ago, we can't keep doing that same old stuff. That's all I'm saying, man. We got to stop. You ain't got to say he can play if he can't play. I ain't telling you. That ain't the kind of protection I'm talking about. But you can't go with these out-of-town people. Well, he was supposed to play for this team, but he didn't play for this. Oh, man, we got to cut that out, pal. Hey, y'all, we got to elevate our situation. Remember I told you, I don't care, listen to me. I don't care about the social structure, how they look at us. I'm concerned at how we should look at each other. Most of these kids out here, these people hating on, is little black kids. That's all I'm saying, man. It's unbelievable. I'm glad. I'm trying to find something. I wanted to put it up there. I hope I find it. Check this out. Just saw this last night. Didn't know I was going to talk about this subject. What did it say? The future of black people is not dependent on how white people treat us. The future of black people is dependent on how we treat our damn selves. Glad I put it up on the screen. Screenshot it. How we treat ourselves. Some people just can't help it. They just rotten and low down. But we gonna weed their ass out. Come on, man. All that old evil, I'm mad at you. I'm like, man, it's time out. When I'm seeing women in Atlanta go to Clark College and starting a business called a Slutty Vegan, built her business, and now she's able to come back and go give money to and go give scholarships. Just a woman who went to Clark College come back and be able to give scholarships to Clark College. That's the kind of stuff we should be doing. Putting ourselves in positions to go back and say, hey, we got you. Like Robert Smith, we can't do all 400 people, but we can do a few of them. The Chop Shop can. Come on, man. But we around here want to talk about somebody's baby and knowing it ain't right. If it's basketball, I'm okay. But the off the court stuff, no, y'all leave that alone. Like somebody was talking about the other day, who getting in fight? Like Kobe, it was talking about Kobe's wife, the dad and mama didn't come at the Hall of Fame. Shannon Sharp said something on his Twitter. He said, man, that's family. Y'all stay out of that shit. Sometimes it's family stuff. Y'all stay out of that. Just if you see the kid, if he can play to you, report that. Especially when you're talking to certain people. Because sometimes what you say means a whole lot. That's why you have to watch what you say. Yeah, but that's it. I'm done. I didn't mean to go that further. It's just, I've been holding that in, y'all, for a long ass time. Y'all notice I've been quiet about this. But, sometimes you got to let it out. Because if you don't let it out, it'll get inside of you and fester and kill you. I had to let that out. That was my therapy today. But other than that, y'all, it's all good. It's all good. So, Jimmy, you can take us out of here.
Well, some of the people out there, you got to realize they different people. Once again, sometimes their words aren't directed at the kid.
Understand.
Sometimes the words are directed at in their how would you say it? They're masqueraded as but they're really directed as the grown folk that's around the kid or the person that's influencing the kid. So I've learned that along the way. And sometimes you're shooting your shotgun, at the person, but the buckshots hit the kid.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in a lot of times.
Just aim a little straight. Just aim a little straighter. Now, I'm just telling the haters, just aim a little straighter. Then it don't hit the kid. Just hit the grown-up. The grown-up can handle it. Because the grown-up don't give a... The grown-up can handle it. That's all I'm going to tell you. The grown-up can handle it. Shouldn't hurt the kid. It's a coward. I think it's cowardly. It's just me.
Oh, come on. We definitely know it's a whole lot of guys out there that probably pee sitting down.
I know.
They probably pee sitting down. You know that. It's a bunch of them.
I know.
So that's the thing. And they want you to believe that they hard as hell. And you know it ain't but one way to tell our person hard. Put their ass in a crisis situation, and you'll tell who run up under the bed or who run up under the house, which dogs run up under the house. Open the gate. Open the gate, and you'll see which dogs run up under the house. Yeah, a lot of these guys, you know, some of them that'll run up under the house. Man. Just because they tall, they still some cowards and some girls.
And Jimmy, Jimmy, we got such a good thing going, y'all. We got kids going to college. Think about it, y'all. We got. Think about it. What we got in Houston and in Texas, we got a show that guys that respect Paul Miranda and people from Dallas watch this show. Yo, we got it good. Everybody else ain't got this around the country. When my people call me from Atlanta talking about they ain't never heard this kind of stuff before on the show. This why it's important. That's why I was not upset with my guy yesterday, but I was sitting there thinking about Jimmy when the man gonna tell about, man, Chris, you need to go on the Don Lemon show. That's how we see. Let me put that back up there. That's for that person. This for that person right there. This for that person. Chris said, no, Don Lemon need to be trying to get his ass on the chop shop. The future of black people is not dependent on how other people treat us. Let's treat each other better. Don't y'all know this basketball community is dominated by y'all? This show is dominated by y'all? Unbelievable that we don't understand the power that we have, Jimmy. It just, think about it. I never forget, LeVar Ball came on this show. Say, yeah, I like y'all. You know what? Because y'all, I run my stuff. I didn't have to, hold up. He said, I didn't have to call nobody to get instructions or whether I come on the show. I'm the boss. Jimmy, I told Jimmy, I said this one time, and I'm going to share it to you, then you can take us out of here, Jim. Never confuse position with power. Jimmy, remember I said Pharaoh had position, but Moses had the power. Remember I said, what else I said? I said, Herod had the position, but John had the power. The cross had the position, but Jesus had the power. What John Newsom at? Lincoln had the position, but Frederick Douglass had the power. Woodrow Wilson had the position, but Ida B. Wells had the power. George Wallace had the position, y'all, but Rosa Parks had the power. Lyndon Baines Jones had the position, but Martin Luther King had the power. Don't confuse position with power. Y'all have power. Jimmy, I'm good.
You ain't good. Shit, you can go for another 30 minutes. No. Shit. We probably didn't get up out of here a while ago. So anyway, guys,
I'm good, baby. I'm good. I just love it, man. I love it, man. Go on, finish. You take us out. Give me something good that happened over the weekend, Jimmy, and take us on. And then, Coach, we missed you yesterday. So give me something to take me through tomorrow, because I know it's the Women Rock Wednesday going to be unbelievable tomorrow.
Well, we got a lot. We're gonna leave a lot of stuff on the docket for tomorrow. Yeah. We also want to give a shout out, of course, to Rick Nelson, Brian Jolivet, JRB for the best JRB event that we've hosted. We had 135 teams last weekend.
But why was it the best? What
It
made
was
it the
it was the
best?
best because the workload was more,
Mm-hmm.
and the car ran smoother. We had
Okay.
there was an email, and I'll share with you guys. We got in our mailbox on tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
from parents, and got a chance to talk to a lot of people that over the weekend. I saw Bobby Benjamin in there, applauding him for his efforts, for wanting to galvanize some people to try to help push back against all these rising costs at
I
these
like that.
events. I explained to him some things to pay attention to, and and just different things. We this event this past weekend, what I mentioned a while ago, that was the Prep Hoops event that was across town. Hell, they charge $500 per team to play in that event across town. $500
In Houston?
in Houston. They not even from Houston. They charge $500, and you had to pay it well in advance. Well in advance. And guess what happened? It was match play. Match play. So $500. I mean, you only getting 3 games. No opportunity for 4 games, 5 games, 6 games. Look what you got for your money. So that means you basically paid $175
Per game.
per game. Many of those teams from out of Houston had to play against other Houston teams.
I know a man texted me. I don't want to call their name on the show, but I want to know stuff like that, man. I want to know stuff like that.
You paid all that to play against other Houston teams. You could have did that. Some teams had played their own label mates. Some programs.
They don't listen
guys
to
know
this
they are
show.
out there.
Whoever
Played
them
their
people,
own label mates.
they
You could have
don't
played them
listen
at
to
practice.
this show. They don't listen to this show. I see, Jimmy, what I done found out, ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all, it's a lot of people just don't know about the show. Because a lot of y'all had shared it, and a lot of y'all had taken the shared right now. And hold up. If anybody that's on the Facebook feed that has not, because we call it the race to 1,000. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube, Chop Shop HTX on YouTube, let's do it now. Get your friends to do it. Jimmy, you telling me we've been on this show for 5 years and some people are still getting got like that? I know how these pastors be feeling now.
I mean, and it's
I know how the pastors be feeling.
I really want you guys to be smarter. I want you guys to be more consciously aware. And all you got to do is try it. Try it. If what I'm telling you is off the mark, try it. And you'll see. Don't just say, damn. Like you guys do about many other things. Yeah. Damn. I tried that stuff Hicks talking about. We told the coach we're not gonna play. Our sons ain't gonna play if we're gonna go to this event and pay all that money. And watch what happens. Watch what happens. You the customers, you the patrons. It's amazing how you go drive your ass through the drive-thru. If Popeyes got your chicken order wrong, you're gonna have a fit. You're gonna want to go through that drive-thru window. But you can go to an event and you play, and you just take it off. You've been smooth over and spread them.
It's a lady told me, she said, Hatter, ain't no use of you keep telling these people because they ain't gonna listen. And I just said, well, I got to tell it. I got to say it. I can't stop because somebody is listening. Believe you me. I got an email box full of people that's been listening. But all you people that played in this event last weekend, I don't even know the name of it. Man, y'all quit getting bamboozled. Quit getting run amok. Quit getting led astray. What my man Michael said, you've been had. You've been took. Quit.
Hoodwink.
You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Let's cut it out, y'all. You don't have to. Y'all share the show because some of y'all friends, them parents over there, them directors over there, they evidently, Didn't they know it was an alternative on the other side of town that was ran like a Fortune 500 company? Jimmy, did they know Neiman Marcus was on the other side of town? They didn't have to go to Dollar General and pay premium price at Dollar General? Jimmy, I keep telling you, I know you ain't got it yet. One of these days you're going to say, aha, how to. Seemed like somebody that went inside our circuit boards in this grassroots community and changed the price tags of what's valuable. They took the stuff that costs $100 and put 99 cents on it. And they done went over there and got the stuff that costs 99 cents and put $100 on it. And we going and buying it. Y'all, we got to stop right now. That's my mandate, Jimmy. I'm good.
That's it, guys. And we're going to slide on down Dino's back. Yabba Dabba do this thing on this Tuesday. Make sure you share the show on your way out the door. You know how it go on the Chop Shop. Make sure you give us a thumbs up if you're over on the YouTube page. Hey, great conversation. Just hopefully, guess what? We can throw the pitch all day. If you got the glove on to catch that ball, guess what? It's going right by you. So make sure you pass this.
Jimmy, footnote this, Jimmy. Footnote this for me, because I want to put that on the screen so we can always have it. Forever Film. He said they didn't know because they had to pay for the event in January. But this show been on Forever Films. This show been on for 5 years, almost 6 years. So come on, man. Y'all need to tell these people y'all need to watch the Chop Shop. Go on, finish.
And guess what? The next JRB event is June the 18th through the 20th. So that way you act like you don't know. Juneteenth is going to be even bigger.
And Doug's Dozen is this weekend.
Doug's Dozen is this weekend. The schedule should be jumping out tomorrow. Doug's Dozen. And it got big news on that event. You're going to share with you guys on tomorrow as well. It's not a tournament. Doug has said it's going to be showcase games on.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And that's Doug and Fat Cat, his brother Ray, and Dre Jones. They are hosting that event. And a lot of people are showering Doug with their love and support for the many days that they've seen him on the side of the court evaluating their kids. And this is one of those things. So you give the love back by supporting him. And so, him and Fat Kid, it's not their first time running the event. No. They used to run the Port Out the Heat, the Port the Heat back a few years ago. So they've ran events before. And Doug, trust me, you guys seen him around the RCS sports events. You've seen him around the JRB events. He's watching, picking up, and taking notes. The thing is, and he gonna have some of the same referees from this past weekend. Referees were off the chain. We had college referees at the 8 o'clock in the morning games. Seriously.
So y'all done got rid of the Kevin Freitmans of the world and got some real referees. Okay. I'm sorry. My bad, Frank. Come on. I'm sorry. And
like I said, but meanwhile, guys, make sure you guys can go over to rcssports.com for more info. And on our way out the door, cue up the video. Speaking of art, we're going to give you something to watch as we get ready to close out day. Don't you go nowhere. Go on. We got something for you to watch.
Okay. But Jimmy, before that, Jimmy, who going to win the games tonight? I just put them on the screen. Washington.
I'm riding with Washington. I'm going with Westbrook. I'm riding with Westbrook because that's the feel good story. That's that feels good for him to win, because now if Boston loses, it will put that coach in a position to where Danny Ainge and his staff will have to make a decision. Do they keep him or go? Indiana, now their best player is in protocol.
Yes.
He's not playing. Yeah. Lonzo Ball is the story. I'm rooting for the stories tonight. I got my media hat on tonight, and I'm rooting for the story. And also, Adam, speaking of the story, I want to give a shout out to the young fella over in the Round Rock area who Kendrick Fulton. You guys know Kendrick Fulton. And remember I told you he's a young man, had to go sit down for a little while, did him a bid. And he's another guy who came home, and guess what he did? Got into the apparel business.
That's the guy.
So this is his line.
Okay.
This is his line.
Yeah.
And his line. And guess what?
Life in the feds. I can't wear that one.
I wear it proudly.
I can't.
I wear it proudly. I wear it proudly because it felt like life, damn it, on some days being there. I wear that proudly. That's a fraternity. So guys that wear that shirt, they come from a certain frat. Like you got your noops out there, you got your Qs out there, you got your Sigmas out there, you got this frat right here. And guess what? This frat, you can be part of that frat and part of this frat, and you still gonna have the cred. So
I support y'all and I love y'all, but I ain't gonna wear that shirt.
And so anyway, guys, we up out of here.
When you ready,
on behalf, of course, Robert Haller, this Jim Hicks.
We are the
Chop Shop.
I'm gonna hit the button. Chop Shop, we out.
Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Check this out. Shout out to Archie. Yes, and this is the action from this past weekend at the Summer Prep Elite 36 Showcase. Of course, that game, as you see, plenty of the action and plenty of the young fellas getting it in. And
who is that?
Who is that right there? That's Abu. That's Big Abu.
I got to play this one more time.
That's Jada Nunn right there. And that's the man with the plan, Mason McBride.
Hold on, I got to play that one more time. I got to play that one more time, y'all. I'm sorry.
That's Noah Martin.
Okay.
And of course, that's TJ Ford Jr. That big fella right there is Big Franklin.
Okay.
That's Jared Harris, the kid from Silsby, Hatter.
Okay. All right.
Bam. That's a three-pointer.
Who's my man right here?
The kid from Bush Austin. That's the big fella, Brian Kutumner.
Okay. I'm waiting on McBride right now. That's McBride
That's
right
him
now.
Right. Look at that jumper. Look at that jumper.
He shoot that
Mason
thing like me.
McBride.
We out of here,
See
Jimmy.
you guys on tomorrow. That's how we rock on the Chop Shop. Shout out to Archie and Forever Young Films for providing that to us. And man, good day.
That's great. I'm out, Jimmy. Bye.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter, you are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro, let's get it. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop.